We are awaiting the Q4 final GDP print set to come through here. We're also getting initial jobless claims data just out, 224,000 versus 225,000 expected there on the week-over-week number. 1.85 million versus 1.89 million. There's that GDP print, 2.4% versus 2.3 expected. So a little better than expected to the upside for the final Q4 GDP print for last year. Again, 2.4%, 2.3 was the consensus there. Corporate profits quarter over quarter, 5.9%. GDP price index as well. Downside, 2.3% versus 2.4%. So the economy still hanging out, doing things that are showing strength. Market not really reacting to that, however, at the moment. We are downside ever so slightly to start things off this morning. Tariffs, tariffs, and more tariffs. Everybody gets tariffs.
Oh boy.
Again. That's the theme for today.
I was watching the premier of this province yesterday give a news conference, and it looked like he had just seen a ghost, Brendo. So terrified was he of the implications on our economy. So much of the manufacturing on this side of the border is actually engaged in the auto industry. So we'll have to see how that all works out. But 25% is not a small amount, Brendo. Keeping an eye on Ford, GM, yeah. Tesla as well. Tesla looking like it's going to suffer a lot less because of only about 20-30% of their components come from Mexico. Everything else American related. So we'll keep an eye.
I'm sure they'll figure that out for Tesla specifically. But yeah, no, I chuckle because, yeah, what a back and forth kind of move this has been. After the close, we get the big flush on the announcement yesterday. And then here we are right back up again. 1050, 1040, 1050 coming into play here, about 0.5% for Ford. GM not as volatile at the moment, still kind of hanging out at the lows. You mentioned this one also, Tesla just kind of hanging out here. So we'll see how this develops. I'm sure there's more to come. Oh, yeah. As there typically is on a day-to-day basis, guys. But yeah, more tariffs to talk about today.
Yeah. Well, we knew this was coming.
I'm really surprised at the moves. I was telling you, like, I don't know. I thought it was coming. I mean, maybe it's
Everybody
early.
thought it was coming. Well, what's surprising, there's a bunch of things that are surprising about this. One, the reaction you would have thought was at least a little bit baked in, like GM. I'm just going to look at what, like, price.
Right, and Ford versus GM, that's the other thing.
Ford is up 0.5 and GM is down, down 6 right now and holding the lows. So you're getting a very different reaction. I was looking at BMW. And like the second the market, well, I'm not sitting here logged in when this opens up in Europe, but
You're not?
No, obviously not. But that actually caught a bit of a bid. So you like to think, okay, well that catches a bid. GM's not catching one. So I just sort of observed, hey, whatever, price action is price action. GM's relatively weak. Let's just go with that. It's not the only thing that's going to matter. Here today, and obviously NVIDIA and the chips are back in play as they had a huge reversal. The market had a big reversal as well, so you came into big levels, and Palantir came to big levels. Day 2 GameStop. Day 2 GameStop should be in play after they dropped a 1.3 billion senior note offering, a convertible senior note offering yesterday in the aftermarket. So, looking for continuation short on that. Well, I mean, of course they're going to raise money. How are you else going to buy Bitcoin?
No, I didn't even realize that. I wasn't even scanning for GameStop this morning. But now that I do,
here we are.
Yeah, here it is right here. If we just look at this e-signal hot list right here, what I was just sort of scrolling down through it, I just saw GameStop right there. So I didn't see it. It's not updating the price there. So when I click on it, you see the chart right here of GME down to $26. So the hot list right now just showing the prices from yesterday. So I saw it on here and just thought it was day 2 earnings continuation. But yeah, NVIDIA today, you're going to see a nice little downside push as well, down into 112 off of 113 close. Tesla is going to be on the top of everybody's mind. Shout out to Chef Joe and everybody like that. Unfortunately, I'm still going to be looking short on Tesla. As long as we're under 280, I think it's going to be a short.
Excuse me.
There's some drilling going on right here. So I have some important announcements to make, and that is that downstairs we're getting 2 240-watt charging stations for electric vehicles. And
so now you're going to get some?
Yeah, so now, well, we knew it was coming. I don't know. I want to get the Golf E, but it's not here. It's coming in Europe this year, so I don't know.
Well, that'll be
Chef Joe says, what the hell is that? Yeah, so Chef Joe, so you'd like this as a Tesla owner. We have about 7 or 8 spots here downstairs, and it's a parking garage. And
I'm not even sure which one I was supposed to park in today, so I don't know.
And now they're hammering. And so what we're running is electric from our breaker here in the server room. Hopefully we don't lose quotes or anything. And yeah, boom, show is over. So that was nice.
No, we'll be fine.
But yeah, so if we disconnect, stay with us. We know what's happening. But at the end of the day, yeah, so they're running wire and electricity down into the parking garage. And thankfully we're on the first floor, so just hopefully straight down there. And yeah, and then we can start charging up our gas-powered cars. So yeah, that should be fun.
Who has an EV?
Nobody. That's
nobody here has an EV. Anyways, well, now it's the impetus to, but that's the kind of thing you need more of that to happen to get more people to convert, right? Because a lot of people haven't converted yet because their condo hasn't done it, or they're just
Here we go, Randy. We were just
talking, whatever it might be.
Randy, we were just talking about our situation there. We're hearing some drill. You can pick up the mic, please. I'd like to ask you some questions about what's happening in the background. So I came in today, and there was basically 2 contractors there, or electricians, and they said, "Where's Randy?" So I knew something was, and I said, "This guy?" And then so I knew something was going on today, and I've just mentioned that we're hearing some drilling, we're hearing some
noise.
Because we are getting electrified.
That's right.
So any details on that? I said there were 240 watts from hearing what
240
you
volts, 50 amp.
50 amp, okay.
Which is, whatever that is, 10 kilowatt charger.
Okay.
That's good.
So we're happy with all that?
Yeah.
So we're finally making the switch over to...
done like dinner.
To the Model Y there, Randy?
No, are you going to get an EV? Sean already said
he's still waiting for Rivian to hit $10, and then once that happens, then it was going to go to $5,000.
But you're not going to get a Rivian.
I don't know.
He likes the Rivian. But the Rivians are expensive, man.
Well, yeah, there's that.
You need to get some raises over here.
You're not going to drive, but you're not going to get a Rivian.
You had to zero to those shares.
No.
Yeah, I'd rather buy the company than...
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Anyways, exciting stuff. So do we expect this noise to continue for a little bit?
Not for long.
Okay.
One quick question, just out of my morbid curiosity. So Trump announces a 25% tariff.
Yeah, I heard that this morning.
This is GM's chart.
GM, Ford are going to get hit.
But this is Ford's chart. Ford bounced and went green.
Give it time.
But why did Ford go green?
Maybe it's exposure. I don't know. I mean, honestly, they both have plants on both sides of the border.
That's what I thought. They're both
Ford's in Canada, Ford's in Mexico. So, give it time to shake out. Is there a hedge against this? Not really. Again, there's workers and plants on both sides of the border on both countries. So there's an impact here. Not only in the auto workers union, but the actual output of the plants themselves and the suppliers that feed those plants. So, yeah, more to come.
Yep, more to come.
Yeah, I think it's Neil had mentioned, you had mentioned then possible recessionary talk here.
Well, I think
this is going to affect a lot of jobs.
A trade war, the U.S. is still like a maybe going into recession. I'm not an analyst that puts percentages on it, but I got 60-70% chance in my brain that Canada is going to have a recession as things are playing out.
Everyone will. So I mean,
can't see it not happening at this point for us, but I hope not. I really hope not. But
yeah, no matter how pro-America or anything you are, I mean, the whole automotive industry was built on this agreement that we would be able to build in all 3 countries, and all of a sudden for this to happen, it's going to be a shift, and it's going to take economies a minute to figure it out. And I think it's a great move because Trump had said that this is what they're going to do, so sticking with it. So we'll see about some of the retaliation there, and then how long does it last? I mean, that's the other thing, right? Like, so this is like just an initial kind of blow to the auto industry. Do the tariffs come back? Do they say, okay, instead of 25, do we go 10? Do we go?
Well, these ones are permanent.
Well,
this one.
I mean, the guy just signed something
for the rest of the term. Well, the interesting thing about this though is a lot of, and someone in the chat was mentioning it with BMW. Well, BMW has a plant in the U.S., so they're going to be exempt from it. But one of the things that supposedly they're going to try and crack down on is if your plant is really not manufacturing, but it's just assembling. And that's sort of like, how is that going to play out? Like the details of that, because I think that's going to, if you really do crack down on it and say, well, all you're doing is bringing in a bunch of parts, and essentially the car is made already, and you're just assembling it here. You're not really doing any hard manufacturing. does that get you around this tariff? So there's a lot to be played out in individual names. So I wouldn't treat them all as a group, the automakers. I feel like this could play out differently in different spots. And just pick one, grip it and rip it, and play the momentum.
Rip it and rip
That's what it's all about. I'm going to make a few baseball references today because it's opening day in baseball. So I'm just going to get those puns out there. But we have one of our favorite guests.
I've got on the Blue Jays hat
get
here
to.
today as well.
From our good friend from Barcelona
That's
is
right.
in the house.
That's right. Man, sometimes I like this guy.
Always
Most of the
like
times I love him.
Yes.
It's Luis Barbado because he always makes us think about sunny days ahead. And he talks about those small cap runners that can make your dreams come true.
That they can.
Oh, man, what are we doing?
He's got a great
Okay,
beard.
let's go back over to the desk here as we ponder more tariff news.
It's been an exciting
Wrong
couple of
beard.
weeks here. There he is. Luis joining us from, as mentioned, Barcelona. I always try to gauge the level of sunshine coming in your window there, Luis. Is it nice today in Barcelona? Give us the weather first.
Yeah, it's very good weather, but I have to say it's been raining quite hard for the last couple of weeks or 3 weeks,
the plants got
which is good because it might sound for you science fiction, but we have some trouble with water here. And after a couple of weeks raining, we are safe for some months with water supply.
Fantastic. Good to hear. I'm glad it's back to sunny anyway. A lot to catch up on.
Water
It's been just a
supply.
wild week for small caps, wild couple of weeks anyways. There's a number of them moving around here again this morning. Let's jump right into it. This was an earnings play, and I want to talk about this first because we always touch on the fact that these types of stocks typically move without really necessarily having any kind of actual catalyst. It might just be, rumors online or Twitter going crazy about an individual symbol. This one up on an earnings report after the close yesterday. We get all the way to 250. GTEC, Greenland Technologies. This is not a first timer. This one does tend to do this.
Yes, tend to do this. Actually, it's not very good catalyst, as you say. Maybe the name Greenland, and everyone is a little bit paranoid about this. But we will try to short if it fails, if it doesn't go over 280, 290. We have a high resistance there from previous days. So we will short this stock because of the, let's say, weak catalyst and the resistance. The daily resistance is at in $280, $290.
Yeah, if you zoom out, I went out to a weekly chart earlier, but even on a daily chart, this thing does put in, as I was mentioning, lots of these types of moves and then typically comes right back down. TDTH, another one moving around here so far this morning. What are you thinking about this one?
Yeah, TDTH is a 1 million repurchase from the company. Let's see, it's a Singapore company, so we are a little bit aware of this kind of non-US or non-Canada companies, which could move very, very aggressive, very sharp on the long side mainly. So let's see if it fails. The pops it has done, I think, until two. Let me check. I saw pre-market, but $190, $2. It popped several times. If it doesn't increase volume and it doesn't go over the VWAP 210, 220, we will short this stock. But again, be very careful because it's a Singapore company and it has a lot of potential on the way up. So if it breaks VWAP and 220, 230, just avoid shorts no matter what.
Not a ton of volume. I mean, decent volume so far, but only one on the relative scale here for TDTH. Drama, that's always a good ticker for a small cap. DRMA, pretty wild here above $2 right now.
It could be a big drama, you could say, on this one if you go short too early. It's actually it's a stock that it has some crazy movements on the past, but it's also true if you check at the market data, we have 90% probability red close over the 11 gaps from 2020 that we track. From the 11 gap up over 20%, 90% close red. So it has a nice data to go short, but today we have phase 3 news, so it could be a little bit more tricky. But taking into account this data, 90% red close, and even the days that traded a lot of volume pre-market, it ended up closing red. So let's see, it's going to be very important if after the market opens, just the 5, 10, 15 first minutes, it keeps volume and it keeps fighting highs, or it just fade a low volume.
With these constant headlines coming through, there's obviously other stocks moving around this morning. We were touching on Ford a little bit. Any interest today in the tariff-related movement that we're seeing?
Not really, because the sectors that are moved, like vehicles and energy and all these things, are not the kind of sectors, the kind of place we like. We are more into pharma, biotechnology, because the catalysts move a lot the market. You know, when you have a small biotechnology or small pharmas with one big new over one or two products, they only have probably one or two products. It moves a lot the market. So the tariffs are not impacting that much on these kind of sectors we trade.
Anything else we're missing out on here? What's top of your list this morning?
Well, we have had a couple of crazy days since Friday. I think it was Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. We have a lot of runners like MLGO, DATS. And when you have 2 or 3 of these stocks moving 300, 400%, the market is a little bit, scary. And if something starts to push higher, we might have a chance to have another runner. So we are looking, beside the stock we mentioned for today, the stocks that were tradable last days, like MLGO, DATS, or PSTV. Those are the 3 tickers were very active for the last couple of days. And we're going to look for shorts if the stock is less crowded. If no one is looking like the last days, then we're going to try the short with the lowest volume.
Luis Barbado joining us from the Real Trading office over in Barcelona, Spain. Great to see you as always.
Thank you very much, Brendan.
The office is looking sharp.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like hardwood in there. Couldn't really tell. Looking nice and sharp there. Of course, complaining about the rain. It's better than flurries. We got
McFlurry.
no. There was like a little bit of flurry.
Yeah, there was
yesterday.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, come on, man.
There's a little bit of snow going around there.
A little bit. But there's been movers, small cappers. There's been like big movers almost every single day. But it's not always been obvious which one is going to be the most parabolic. Like you had DATS a couple of days ago. You had some random runners in there. So I think you want to, like, if you trade these, I have a scanner open because sometimes the one that looks strong early, you have no idea whether it's going to be the big rallier. Anyways, DATS is worth watching just because of this 350. Like if it loses the bid here, it's kind of like descending wedge into 350. It's only a couple of days worth of action, but that's been a big one the last couple of days for sure. And you got to have an idea, what you're looking for. And I always say this, it's not enough that something gaps up or gaps down. We get a lot of, hey, look at this symbol, that stock's going high day break, and then it's not doing any volume. So you want something which is doing, sometimes day 2 volume's okay, but like that parabolic volume. If it's not doing good relative volume, then you don't want to be trading it. That's a lot of the reason why we look at earnings plays, day 2 plays. They're going to be big. I was going to mention this when Randy was here, but I completely forgot. Energy was strong yesterday. That was...
Yeah, oh yeah.
If you look
oil
at where...
is at 3-month highs or something like that.
Oil's moving higher. I mean, so was like consumer staples, like some of those, like Procter & Gamble was up yesterday. But if you looked at like Chevron, and I know we talked about this XOM, 10-day win streak on Chevron, and it's breaking out 52-week highs. So this could be, this could be in play. And an XLE, when you look at it overall, just going to have that one load up there. Okay, we're taking our time. I know it's opening day. You can go faster. XLE, and we're mentioning this as well. Bit of a topping tail candle on XLE with strength in a couple of individual names. So this candle looks like a little bit of a fade chance on XLE, and 10 straight days up on Chevron is fantastic. If XLE starts breaking out, Chevron I think is going to be the best in the group, at least for now, because they have that whole Venezuela thing. But yeah, keep an eye on XLE because topping tail at resistance where it had it before at 94. I'm not selling anything. I own XLE. I'm not selling anything, but and the observation is apt given the strength that you had yesterday in energy. I believe we're headed on over to the upgrades and downgrades where AMD, I'm pretty sure it's on that list.
Ooh.
Northrop Grumman here, kicking things off with the upgrade side of things, getting a $575 price target here from RBC Capital Markets. Ryanair with a Deutsche Bank upgrade. Just one day here after Dollar Tree earnings, they're trading slightly lower to start the morning, but getting an upgrade here from Telsey Advisory Group. Then we have Equinix here with a Wolf Research upgrade. On the downgrade side of things, we have AMD kicking things off. Downgrade from Jefferies Financial. You can read all about this downgrade in our Trader TV Live watch list. But it is worth noting here, Jefferies Financial is saying that AMD faces competition not only from NVIDIA, but also from Intel. We have Lockheed Martin getting a downgrade here from RBC Capital Markets, UBS being downgraded by BofA Securities, and last but not least, Goldman Sachs downgrading Imperial, guys.
Lockheed Martin, huh?
Lockheed could see the 300s.
64, 65.
I think it's reasonable that Lockheed, it hasn't done anything to break trend down. If anything, it resumed the trend on the last pop, the 50 period. Looking at a weekly chart for Lockheed, you get the new deal that Boeing was able to snag. That took some more wind out of their sails. Yeah, you lose this support. Lockheed in the 300s, it's waiting to pull the trigger on this one, because I feel like at some point, like companies like this, at some point you're going to get a buy zone, because they're not going to go away, but ultimately it's still in that downward trend. Like nothing has given you any confirmation. Like anytime there's a little bit of a pop, it just loses a bit again, and you just can't seem to find anything. Double bottom for now, but I feel like this is one that potentially breaks this and heads even lower, especially with that Boeing news.
And I have an upgrade to add to the list. I am upgrading gold again right now as GLD is breaking out one more time, holding above that 3,000 and making all-time highs one more time. So, I mean, there's not going to be too many markets out there that we're going to look at that look like this right now. This is gold. It's pretty easy to understand what's going on. So there it goes, man. A play against, obviously, the weaker U.S. dollar, a play against uncertainty in the markets. Gold continues to go higher here in the face of actually Bitcoin holding as well. So, I like this name, and we just talked about how energy's been going back up to the upside. So in what is uncertainty, a little bit of uncertainty there at the White House, obviously, as the different sides argue about what's the right plan of action. So gold here, again, a trusted source, continues to go higher. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening there. And I like GLD, and I think you can even add it today to the portfolio and use like 275 as your out, which isn't like right down into here. We've been holding it for a week and a half. I think that would be a decent spot. So there goes gold. I'm in, but not in enough. So I've only first bought this a couple months ago. I didn't even really want to do it, but we were looking at the charts and it looked fine. So I told you I was buying some more indexes, buying some gold. I don't know, getting old.
I love gold.
Okay, so yeah, that's good. The sticky note will be out a couple minutes, and we've got our watch list to go through. Make sure you do scan that Profit X right now. Go find that. Make some bets on tonight's Jays game. And again, the Profit X, you're going to have better lines than everywhere else. You can create your own lines. If you don't want minus 110, which all the books are giving you, you can shave that down to minus 108 and see if someone picks you up, right? So you also, in essence, can become the house there with Profit X, taking bets on both sides, making the book. So that's something that's really awesome, and we'll be showing you some more of that as well. And you could probably there's probably props. I don't know if there's going to be props about baseball players,
104.
But the Jays?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll call it. I mean, we could show it.
Yeah, we can show it. What did you say? You said
it's normally 110. Yeah, but what's the money line? So right there, that's just who's going to straight up win.
Yeah.
Yeah, so look at that spread. See, plus 100 there on Baltimore in the green, and then minus 104. So the Jays are favorite.
Oh yeah, we're at home, and we got Berrios. Everything okay?
Yeah.
We got a better. Well, I mean, I think we have a better pitcher going. I'll be at the game today, anyways. But just
so
for
that's
fun.
but. I mean, what we can do is we can easily call up FanDuel.
I put 10 at 110 at the close yesterday.
Right.
You can already see it's moved a little bit.
And you can see the money that's there. There's 4,000 on the bid dollars, and then someone just made a bet there, so that 138 just went down. See, look at the line, just went to minus 103. You see what I'm saying? So right there live, someone just came in and offered a better price.
Yeah, and you can sit here waiting at 04, 06. You can sit there waiting on the other side. Like, that's the cool thing about it. It's actually
home runs. Go to home runs. What happens if you go to home runs? Go to the top right there.
Oh, home runs.
Okay, so Springer. So there we go. Over, under. You can make these lines.
I want Santander.
So who the hell's Tyler O'Neill?
Santander for a bomb. Oh,
there's you have to make it. No, but I was saying go up. There's Tyler O'Neill has someone on the bid right here.
Yeah.
Will he go under? So they're saying no.
He's Canadian.
So for $6 right now, you could take plus 375 on yes. So 4-1 if you think Tyler O'Neill.
For O'Neill? against a righty who throws a slider. Nah,
You don't think he's going to get it?
nah. I'm a baseball guy. I just that's not the bet I'd like. What's going to be fun though, of course, is Thursday. You have the tournament coming back in.
Yeah.
The biggest action is going to be on the tourney. I want to put something down that Bam is not going to. Win. They're not going to win. They're the worst number 1 seed.
Get some parlay magic going on in there, guys.
Yeah. Well, no, and this is a good point. Who's in here? Crow O'Neill has 5 straight homers opening day. Remember, don't fall into those fallacies. They're independent events. Just because he's done it in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. That's one of those like the whole.
It's like charts.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. But anyway, I think it's just going to be a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, it's happy that baseball's back.
Yeah, exactly.
More sports.
It also means that the weather's getting better. Like,
That's it. I mean,
it's a signal.
We don't all live in Barcelona.
No, but you get playoffs in the NBA, you get playoffs in the NHL, you get March Madness, you get baseball starting.
It's almost as good as the fall.
Yeah, almost. The fall is the best.
For me, yeah, because then you get the hype with NFL, which I think is much hyper than baseball.
But it's it's a playoffs for baseball.
And then you get baseball.
To me, that's what makes it better. It's playoffs in baseball, and then it's NFL, college
baseball
football.
playoffs are the best. I don't think anybody would deny that. So, all right, look, we're excited. Let's go back over. We're going to run through the rundown. A couple good names talked about already today with Luis Barbado there, MLGO, G-Tech was up 80%. We'll check in on that as well. Dat Chat, that's what's up. I don't know if that's going to be up today. He didn't mention Big Bear AI, but that thing's probably going to go to the moon at some point. So cricket is better. Even cricket is better than baseball. Cricket is very popular.
I actually love cricket.
People are looking.
West Indian family, so of course I like cricket.
Yeah, we've been doing baseball all summer, so we're excited to get baseball rocking and rolling as well.
I have Oracle.
There are some pictures of High Park being surrounded in my coach's chat yesterday, so everyone's getting all excited about that as they lay the new. It's all dirt, so it's a dirt. There's a mound. It's a professional.
You got to play on dirt.
Yeah, so it's a professional raised mound. You know, my daughter's been playing on raised mound since 10 years old, or since 8 years old. Okay, let's go over to the desk here. Sharif looking good in that shirt. I don't know if it's a new one today or what. I like the color there on this guy.
Maroon.
Thank you, Sean.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Shout out to our friends over at Worksport. WKSP, one we didn't mention with Luis a little bit earlier, but WKSP moving around here so far today, we get up to $5 in the pre-market for Worksport on earnings. Record revenue growth. That's not bad. Net sales reached 8.48 million. That's 455% to the upside over what they did a year ago. Margins expanded. Strong Q4 performance highlighted by net sales of 2.93 million, 250% increase year over year. The positives keep going here on and on and on. Even their forecast for 2025 to the upside as well. So giving some back here as far as the move so far in the pre-market for Worksport, but worth noting for another potential small capper, it's still up better part of 4%. Yeah, let's get into everything else. Have a look at the market.
All right, guys, we sold off aggressively yesterday after we got the news of tariffs. So we closed out at around 57.60, around 57.58, with the overnight high being awfully close to that level, 57.72. So we're already using that 3/4 of a point, 75-point area as resistance. If we can clear that 75-point area, we'll use 5,800 as resistance. But if we continue to sell off, then we're looking at yesterday's low at 57.25 as support.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video, grab the watch list. Top link will get you to that page, and then all you need is your email address, comes right to your inbox with everything you need to know on it in the pre-market before we come on at 8:30. We touched on it earlier, but going to be the biggest headline of the day so far anyway. There's always time. Auto tariffs coming into effect late yesterday. We get the initial move downside here. Ford is acting all kinds of strange compared to everything else in this group. We get all the way down to 975 at the bottom there for Ford. Right back up here to 1050 this morning. GM, Tesla, as we saw earlier, not doing much.
I really want to see what we do after the open when the market really digests this and all the market on open orders start coming in. So here's a news item. Trump signed a proclamation imposing 25% tariffs on all cars not made in the U.S. as well as auto parts. The tariffs will take effect April 2nd with collection of the duties starting April 3rd. It's going to be applied to foreign-made cars, light trucks, vans, you name it. It's going to cover a plethora of different categories. The expected revenue and enforcement, Brendo, about $100 $100 billion here being projected as annual revenue, and Trump promised very strong policing on how tariffs apply to car components, though the specifics do remain unclear. Some exemptions for the North American automaker, the big three, GM, Stellantis, Ford, they're going to receive a 1-month exemption for vehicles complying with the USMCA trade deal. But after that, all's fair game.
Yeah, the guys are mentioning some names over in Europe this morning. It's worth noting Europe stocks as a whole were 2-week lows I saw this morning came into play. So, and that was on some of these auto names moving to the downside. I just brought up STLA as well, another one worth noting in negative territory here. Also got kind of flushed after the close yesterday.
Yeah, so I mean, look, we showed Ford's chart. Obviously, it's looking a little bit distinctly different. It wouldn't surprise me if it fades, but look, GM's down 7%. It's more what it's gapping past than anything else, because there was all kinds of liquidity, let's just say, action off of $49 in both directions. Like, it just hung out there and then would run away, and hang out there and then run away. So it wouldn't take much of a pop at the open, I think, for GM to get you close to that 49 with the 50 period. The moving averages are sitting there for us. So I'm looking at GM as the auto name I'm going to play today. And if we pop back into this nice little 49er, you've had pop and fades. It did that last time it was here, and it was support. Now I'm just looking at resistance. Overall, like, this might not be the be-all, end-all that everyone is sort of assuming, but let's just play price action. You know, if it gets out and about and above 49, I think you got a pretty decent recovery going on for GM. But I want to fade into the 49 level on General Motors. That's the one I'm going to be watching. I mean, obviously Tesla, but I think Tesla's the kind of thing we trade every day. GM isn't, so you know, that's the one I'll be looking at here.
Yeah, I think that's a good point there about Ford and GM. I mean, if you look over here at the imbalances earlier on today, I just wanted to say Neo. Good. Yeah, like, so I know we're not. I just wanted to bring this up to everyone's attention. There was that offering that happened for Neo, and I was going to be like, hey, what about, and I just talking about Big Bear AI. Now it's a sell. Great, shouldn't have said anything. But there's Neo right here. I was hoping when I saw that news come through that we would be over $4 still to see if we could hold that. But now we're underneath it. So honestly, I always think that when you have an offering, it gets priced in almost immediately. So, pardon? Okay. I still have no idea what you mentioned there. So let me just go on and finish this, and then we'll talk about it after. All right, so what we're talking about is coming up. Yeah, the Neo offering. Oh, okay, I get it. All right, so I just want to bring this one to everyone's attention. So this is still on the board. Thanks for that, Andre. But yeah, nice move back in for Neo, so we'll leave that one. All right, so what I want to get at, what else is on there? Well, Tesla. We have auto tariffs, Neo, and Tesla. So 3 of the 5 stories. All right, so I have what are my choices? All right, you already looked at GM, so let's look at Ford then. I have one other choice. Ford, for some reason, again, trying to break out. So my talk was just going to be looking at here. We have Stellantis, so we talked about there. If you're looking at other names that might be in play as well. Stellantis, again, breaking low. Like, everything is now underneath. So at the end of the day, I don't think you can go long here on pretty much any of these names. I do feel like a lot of this is baked in, so I am wondering if we do get a pop. So I would just say look at yesterday's levels in order to get out. Like, if you pop above yesterday's close on any of these names, whether or not it be GM, whether or not it be anywhere here, any of these names, I just think you want to watch out. I mean, GM's still down. We're not going to get back to yesterday's close, but, you know, something has changed if we turn green on any of these names. So for me, GM short until it breaks through 48.25, and that's that. So I would just remain short on all of these names. Neil looked at BMW. There's also VWAGY, which is the Volkswagen ADR. ADR, right? You can trade this. This is, I mean, again, in the pre-market, it's not going to do anything, but Volkswagen's actually held out okay. Again, Porsche, Audi, the largest car maker in the world, I think by numbers, is Volkswagen when you add them all up. But right there, Volkswagen right now looking at the 200 period as well. There's not that many, especially these names, that are still above. I mean, BYD would be a look here. I'm just we're a little bit early on the day here, so I just want to just go over this quickly and then we'll throw it back. I'm not sure which one does more volume, either BYD, DF, but at the end of the day, I'm just trying to look at the daily chart anyways. So you can see here, BYD. We talked about that. They're used here in the buses. Toronto TTC has, I don't know how many buses, but they're in fleet as well. And the cheap cars coming in China, they don't have anything to worry about with these tariffs as they're really not even landed here yet. So BYD, a nice move. So there's going to be winners and losers in all of this. Volkswagen to me is interesting because you're right at the 200 period moving average. So VWAGY as an ADR, I don't know. I don't love any of these names, but because I'm not allowed to talk about Tesla or Neo.
Well, Volkswagen's chart looks this could really start to move as well.
Well, that's in German. That's what I was just looking at. Volkswagen.
You had the German chart up too.
Yeah,
you had the pink.
I'm not the one that we could trade today. Like people in Germany could obviously trade.
There's a trader I know that trades Europe. I'm messaging him right now. I'm like, make sure you're looking at European autos today. I know he will be, but if
yeah, Neil, I don't think you need to message that guy that.
Well, I always, you know what? I always do just because it's like on the off chance.
Right.
On the off chance, you never really know. And the one day that you are not paying enough attention and something that you do, because like this is a trader that makes his money on Europe.
We could trade that too.
No, we can trade
it's open till 11:30.
Yeah, I think I still have buying power in Germany. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I know why. I went to throw an order out to test it, but Volkswagen trades. It's weird. It trades in 2 euro cent increments. So like you can't. Like I can offer 99.78, but I can't offer 99.77. So it would have, yeah, we can trade Volkswagen.
Yeah. So
I just haven't done it in a while. I wasn't sure if I still had buying power on that market, but
yeah, and we got to set our keys up and all that stuff too.
Hey-o.
Okay, that's it. Let's go talk about AMD and its downgrade.
Randy's drilling. So if you hear that, that's blame Randy. AMD, gapping down further today after getting absolutely flushed yesterday on, that's the wrong story, on a downgrade and a pretty negative note at that this morning for this one.
It is, Brendo. So let's start. Jefferies downgrading AMD from buy to hold, citing increased competition from, you guessed it, Intel. The firm lowered its price target from 135 down to 120, implying about an 8.9% upside from yesterday's close. Intel's upcoming CEO is expected to make the company a bit more flexible, a bit more competitive in the chip market. Also, analysts not very happy here with AI progress being made at AMD, saying it's slower than expected, which is raising concerns, Brendo, about that 10 to 15 billion in AI revenue that Lisa Su projected for 2026 and 2027. Intel is also expected to produce, quote, a fairly competitive chip starting next year. So we'll have to see about that. Also, Jefferies did a benchmarking study finding AMD's graphic processing units, their GPU, their AI GPUs, well underperforming NVIDIA's across multiple open source platforms. So not exactly a glowing endorsement.
Yeah, the unfortunate slow kind of grind to the downside here continuing. We did get a nice bounce off 100, but I feel like it's coming back here pretty quickly for AMD, maybe even today.
And AMD.
Yikes.
So yeah, I have AMD written down here. I have it. The sticky note is now out. I mean, yesterday it was a short. It was the number one name on the short. We were short yesterday at 115, right? So that's $9 now as we continue to go down. It's almost like they figured out that we had downgraded it ourselves. Now we're trying to go short at 108. So yesterday we had to wait for this play, and it actually turned out to be bad early because we got stopped out. Like we liked 115 short. So yesterday when we opened up, we were at 113.50. So it moved up about $2 against us, up to 115.90. So we wound up getting stopped out for about, I think it was a 40 or 50 cent hit. Then we saw this top wick right there, and then it started just to collapse all over itself as the whole market just, I don't really know why the market went up for the first 10 minutes yesterday, but then it just crashed all day. I mean, we were talking about this. AMD just kept on going. The TQs kept on going. We had a 400 handle winner there on the TQs, 400 points on the NASDAQ yesterday as it just went all the way down. You did have a nice recovery at the end of the day, which is pretty interesting, saving some of that move because honestly, again, the market caught a little bit of a bid, but if you think about that, if without that bid there, if we go back to where it was at 320, then you're right here at 109 anyways. So I just thinking we could make a move back up into here. The 200 period right now is at 108. So that's what we're shorting. I'm shorting 108. And you know what? If we get busted up there to 110, I think that's where we may either like, again, I want to short 108. If it breaks 108.50, we'll get out, right? Because I think a 50-cent hit on AMD is fine. We can definitely absorb that with no matter what shares we trade with, really. And then, because we're not going to go crazy, I put 5,000 shares right there, right? So then we'll wait to hear. This is going to be a bigger spot for me. If we get anywhere near 110, then I really want to use this 110.50, 110.30 area in order to like be my slam zone. So like this could be like a really big trade if it does come up here. So that's what I'm looking at, is to really, you know, put down the hammer if we come up to this area. But for an initial short, and yesterday we got run over early, right? So initially we'll go short at 108, we'll feel that trade out, and then we'll work from there. But it is, again, it's a #1 trade idea for me here. We have Tesla short 280. I don't know if it gets there. I'm playing over under 280. I responded to you, Chef Joe, on the chat as well. We'll trade Tesla, but that's coming up in a couple minutes. AMD 108 for sure. I don't even want to, although we had NVIDIA yesterday, and NVIDIA was my best trade yesterday, I want to look at AMD early and NVIDIA late once we can figure out some actual levels.
Yeah, I like NVIDIA today. I think you can pick, hey, what's up, Randy? Send us a picture of the hole they're digging, too. We'll show you that in a second.
He did?
Yeah, well, I'll pull up in a quick little second. But we're going to take some NVIDIA on pops. And yesterday I did not get the pop, so I'm going to have more of a nuanced approach to it. Multiple levels to work off of. The prior low, which is, this is like 112.78, but that into 113, and then the 114 to 114.5. So call it the quarter mark in there. So that's the target area on any pops there for NVIDIA. No, this is what Randy said. I'm assuming this is the hole that they are making into the, well, yeah, it's done. So we can get the charging station in the garage so that everyone here can not get EVs, I suppose. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man.
I wanted to say, you were talking about Volkswagen. This is not limited to Volkswagen or even the Germans. Like BMW is going to be affected. Mercedes-Benz builds in Mexico. Look at the Japanese stocks this morning, folks. They're down. All the Japanese car makers are going to take a hit on this. So this is not just limited to NAFTA or USMCA, KUSMA. It's just going to be a global issue.
Right.
There's auto plants all over the place. These are global companies. So the impact is a little bit bigger than I think it reflects right now.
Yep.
Appreciate
It's bad for sure. I think it's going to be bad for many businesses, even within the United States, right? I mean, this will be felt for a minute, and then we'll just figure out what the next play is. Yeah, it's kind of sad thinking about all of that. I mean, here's Toyota. We just talked a little bit.
Hurt too.
There it is, TM. So thanks, Randy, for bringing up some of these other manufacturers there. Yeah, Toyota coming down. That's down 3% today as well. You can trade TM as, again, one of the largest. They had the second and third most purchased cars in 2024 there. So, yeah, nice move back in for Toyota as well. And that's what I was showing you. I mean, so Toyota is another name that's at the 200 period. So both Toyota and Volkswagen still right here. So if you wanted to find some, as Randy said, if you do believe that this is going to affect many companies worldwide, which it will, then yeah, you actually get some value right now shorting here, because, you know, the move you would think would be to break the lows of many of these names, especially with guidance and all that, and, you know, the next quarter coming through. Like, I don't know when Toyota reports or any of these companies report, but how could they possibly give a positive guide? I don't, you know, I can't see that as being there. So, you know, I think it's about doing your own research. What percentage of the cars are made inside the USA? What's the assembly thing?
Speaking of inside the USA, Mullen's an American company. Oh, it's just moving right now.
Mullen.
Well, I mean, I guess they make them in the U.S.
They may
to the limited extent that they make anything.
They reverse split again, or what?
Well, no, but it's just moving. There's no headline that I can hear, but it's actually going. The other day it did a billy in volume, maybe. I don't know if it's going to do anything like that, but if this continues its move, I'm eyeballing, it's about 30 to 35 in here. I'm going to go pay for some locates on Mullen. But that one on the move, hey, autos are going to be in play. And here's another one with NIO with an offering, although there's someone else who had an offering that's down more than Neo, and that was also GameStop. Gents?
Yeah, we're trying to bounce right now, but pretty ugly here. What is it? $3.95 for NIO coming into play here. 6.5% to the downside on a rather large offering coming through for NIO, unexpected.
118.8 million Class A shares, Brendo, in offshore transactions outside the U.S. under Regulation S of the Securities Act, so it meets all the requirements there. The funds raised will be used for R&D and smart EV technologies and new products. Strengthening the company's balance sheet is a key priority according to the release here, and the proceeds will also go to general corporate purposes, not really giving you much of a description there.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that NIO has lost as far as Chinese EV companies are concerned. XPeng not really doing much this morning. Downside with this entire group, but nowhere near as much. Half, in fact, we are trying to get back to 2 days ago, that pre-market low for XPeng right now.
Yeah, I mean, if Neo pops to like 420, I think fade that. Or the only other play I'd make is if it goes 10% down, and then it's gonna be at the all-time low. Like it'll be right in front of the all-time low. So if it gets double digits downside, the all-time low, I mean, I'm just gonna eyeball the chart here. Let's call it 360. Maybe it's like 61 or 62, but who cares? If it gets down there, maybe you look for a bounce play. But that's not the offering play that I think, well, you never know. I mean, I can't, maybe Neo gets down there at 933. I have no idea. If it does, then I'll take a look at it and maybe look for that long. But GameStop also had an offering in the aftermarket. We saw it live in the aftermarket show. They're down already double digits. The idea, well, my first idea was to fade or to short into 27. Now at this point, because you've already broken down to 25, you're going to have to just adjust. VWAP sits at 26. It was prior pre-market lows. So I only want to play reversions on this, be a little bit patient with the pop and fade on GameStop today, because it already lost a bit here, down 10%. It's probably trapped some longs too. Like yesterday, it was relatively strong. It dipped at the open and then trended up. It was trying to hold for most of the day before it eventually gave it up. But I think it trapped some longs off earnings. And if there is a bit of a relief rally, I want to short into that rally.
Yeah, I was just looking up something there on my phone. Neo, yeah, so we talked about this earlier. All I wanted to do was actually just bring up the fact that it still is here. It was over 1 million at one point, now 600,000. So again, what I was saying before is that when these offerings hit, they pretty much get priced in right away. So I don't really want to trade it. You know, the price that it is now is the price that it is now. So, with talking about negativity in the auto space, you have to go short, right? And so the 200 period's at $4. So right there for NIO. Just looking at the daily chart, like I said, I kind of wish it was already here, and then we could short it through $4. But I think you got to play it back into 4, and then just a matter of what your share size looks like, because you don't want to lose too much money on this. It's high yesterday, 420. Like again, on an offering, they have to raise capital. They're doing it through stock, so that's going to hit there to the downside. So that's not good. So there's no way it should be up today after all of that. You may get an SSR bounce, so you got to figure out whatever that's at there, being down 10%. So I'd say a couple more points, so maybe 375 or so, and then you might get a bounce off 375. But for me, I'm short $4 if it comes up there, and it might do that because right now it is feeling some pressure also from the imbalance. So it is going to feel a little bit of this, although there's not that much action. Like it was 1 million and it's only paired off 200,000. So a 600,000 share print into the open, it's already done 22 million shares. So I'm not like worried about this imbalance, but it is applying a little bit of pressure. So let's just see what winds up happening here. I don't know what just caused this to go from 390 to 395, but if we get another bump like that to $4, I think you take the risk short. It might not be that like sort of sexy of a name to trade today, because you're not going to get like those huge, like AMD could swing $5, Tesla could swing $20. Like there's Nvidia, there's going to be other names, GM, Ford, all that. But still, a 10-cent move, a 20-cent move on a $4 name is still what you're looking for as far as a percentage. So yeah, Neo should be looked at today and probably traded by, especially if you're at a prop floor as well. Like you can use more shares if you get it right. So I would say Neo, definitely something to look at, especially if you're on a smaller account size.
Let's talk about Palantir. Right back to the lows right now, 2% coming into play here. The CIO cutting IT team by 60%. That came out actually late yesterday, saving some cost anyways for Palantir going forward. There's also an AI-related story that might be a little bit more pertinent to the stock.
Yes, and it has something to do with the border, so let's talk about it. So the Trump administration has directed the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the National Reconnaissance Office to monitor the U.S. and Mexico border using satellite surveillance. Their role here is going to align with the administrative's immigration crackdown and to combat the drug cartels. It's unclear whether the surveillance will include U.S. soil, and that's a big sticking point here, because current U.S. laws restrict intelligence agencies from actually monitoring American citizens, with one little caveat here that immigration authorities are allowed to conduct searches 100 miles north of the border. So experts are questioning whether they're going to comply with that or not. So AI is going to be used here, Brendo, in order to analyze these satellite images, identify persons and objects of interest. The goal is here to create a digital wall that enhances the physical border security. And some of the, you guessed it probably, some of the companies that are going to be involved here: Palantir, which is tradable, obviously; Anduril, which is not; SpaceX, another private company. These are all discussing partnerships to secure the border. And Palantir specifically here, their Maven smart system, going to be used to analyze the intelligence.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, overall, the market kind of leaking here a little bit. 0.3 now red for the NASDAQ, heading back towards the lows, guys.
Yeah, Palantir 89.80. So that's the level I'm looking at right now. Actually, sorry, not 89.80. It's 90.80, because that was yesterday's low, 89.80. You could get there. You never really know. But we already broke yesterday's bottoms, and I was thinking over-under at that price level. Like, if it bounces at the open and it's above it, then I'm not fighting the stock. Like, to me, you could make that bounce. Palantir be at 93 right quick. That's just how it rolls, especially on the opening print. But if you hold underneath this, it's not a flat bottom, because it basically made one bottom there yesterday, and then you had to close from last Friday, essentially right at that price. So that's, or up here. So let's just only look at that one level. Call it like 91. If we hold the opening range of the 91, it's a continuation short for a PLTR. And anything other than that, like if it holds opening range above 91, I'm just looking long. So that's what I mean by an over-under level. So I'm going to have that one up at the open along with GM, NVIDIA, and GME. GM. I'm like, what's the other one? GME, for sure. Yeah, a lot of G's today.
Yeah, we're on Palantir here. So I wrote down on the sticky note here between $90 and $90.50. Sorry, 90 to 91, and we're right in the middle at $90.50 here for Palantir. Look, I think it's good news for them. I mean, they've already got the approval on their foundry and on their system, and it's gotten the stamp of approval from the Department of Defense, and obviously they already have border control in there as well for the United States with some other deals. Apparently that hole is not done being drilled yet, so hole 2 getting drilled. What's up, Ram? It's not Ramin doing the drilling right now, so maybe she might have to go monitor it, though. Anyways, straight to the downside right there. It looks like it's going to continue. I like the good news story there for PLTR, but hard to ignore. I got to get rid of that wick. Hard to ignore the momentum right there. So yesterday, and you guys know this is what set our day off yesterday, we went long breaking right there. Like, we have long yesterday at 96.80. Thankfully, we wound up losing 50 or 60 cents, but we averaged in back at the 200 and at the 50 period. So we made the hit a little worse than, not worse than we expected, but we added to it, which was bad. And then it fell down and just kept on going. So yeah, I'm not sure we really want to go long on this name, but this is the level. I just think if it's going to go, you want to try to hold 90. And I know we've dipped below it before, so 89.50, 89. Those are probably better longs, but at the end of the day, I don't want to get into this one early, but it is on my radar, despite being down 2% and way worse than the market. I think if the story ever gets going, you know, Palantir should be a winner in something like this. So yeah, man, I do like Palantir, and I think it is a long, but again, not early. Let me just quickly look before the imbalances come through. We only have Tesla left. So it's still Neo, GM, GME. So they're all very small here. So let's wait to see what the NASDAQ hits before we really make decisions on what's going to happen here. But look at this. Sharif and Brendo and everybody, there's like basically the last 20 minutes, it's pretty much just NASDAQ puke city, right back into the lows again. So yeah, big fail happening right now as we get ready for day 2 of a potential slide. NASDAQ went out yesterday, guys, minus 2%. Not good.
Randy's drilling the hole and the market's following through it.
Yeah, the market is just getting right into
it went
that.
yesterday. Including this stock, which is about to go red
Yes.
in right now.
There are.
Just turned red.
Fabian just asked about buying at the end of the day or the beginning of the day or the middle of the day, anything like that. And so, yeah, I mean, there has been studies, about trying to buy near the end of the day.
If you're buying for the long term, statistically speaking, if you bought the close, you outperform if you buy the open in a given day. That's generally speaking over the long term. Is a strategy. I read that like years ago, and I try to, if I'm buying in my long term, it doesn't really matter if you're holding it forever, but it's just the stats bear it out, so why not? Usually not buy the open if you're gonna buy into something. The only time I make exceptions for that are on days like that August low, where like the market's gapped so far down that everyone's thinking it's gonna be Black Monday. I'll buy, like that day you're buying the open if you're buying.
Right.
Otherwise, like what else are you doing? Because usually by the end of the day, it's either been disaster or you've rallied it all back. Let's talk about Tesla, because Tesla, as I said,
Fabian.
Went red.
Oh, no.
Still a little bit better than the rest, I guess, at this point as far as the automotive names are concerned. But yeah, back to negative here. 0.36 for Tesla. I mean, really, it's just kind of chopping around at the low end of the range. I mean, if we wait a couple minutes here, it'll be even worse. But the market continues to leak. But tell them why.
Yeah, well, the market's dropping right now, Brandon. So Tesla obviously is going to be in focus with tariffs, automotive tariffs, that is, coming into place. So Tesla does benefit from producing all U.S. sold vehicles domestically, which reduces their direct exposure to tariffs. However, some Tesla components are imported specifically from Mexico and will be subject to higher cost. About 20 to 25% of their components in the Model Y come in from Mexico. Wedbush analyst Danny Ives called the tariffs a hurricane-like headwind for foreign and many U.S. automakers. He says it potentially is going to raise car prices by about 5,000 to 10,000. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then Tesla is set to report their Q1 delivery numbers April 2nd, Brendo, the same day that the tariff takes place, or take effect, I should say. Wall Street initially expected about 414,000 deliveries, but now they're estimating somewhere around 355 to 360 due to the weaker demand and the Model Y revamp, which they've shut down some gigafactories in order to retool.
Yeah, going to be a tough argument, I think, on the long side here for many of these with the market doing what it is currently, guys.
I mean, it's nowhere near the 200-period moving average now, so you can throw that out the window. All I have written down on my iPad was 280 fade, which is seemingly very irrelevant right now on Tesla. So this is going to be similar to NVIDIA. Actually, it's not similar to NVIDIA, because NVIDIA is underneath. You can play prior lows to work off of. Tesla doesn't have that. It's really just got here that 78 to 80, and then maybe like 275 for continuation. It looked like Tesla, it was up. It was going to be the one stock that it probably would give you a little bit of strength into the open. That's not happening right now. As far as buy zones for Tesla, just going to throw it out there, 250 to 252. And that's this prior resistance on the daily chart. Right? So I think we said this yesterday and probably the day before that a pullback in Tesla, the first big test is this 50 to 52 area. Not impossible, it seems improbable, but that'd only be 7% down or 7.5%, 8% down. Like, that's possible at some point today, but yeah, I don't know if we can get all the way to 280 on a pop, but that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I think it's not only possible, it's probably likely, to be honest with you. All right, so I have the same play, man. Tesla 280, but the thing is like everything, as Neil's mentioned, like we're just going lower and lower. So the 200 period now, although still sloping up, which is ridiculous, like this is why I was thinking that we could bounce off and get up into this area. I was going to start by saying that not 280, 278 is where we were going to start. I just wrote down 280 as the ultimate high. So we still are sitting here to go short on Tesla at 277. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. But yeah, it's pretty bad. Goes out at the lows there yesterday at about 330. Nice rally into the close up to 275. And then, holds those, not 273, holds 275 this morning as a top. So you're looking at that as well. But there we go. So now it's starting to bounce back a little bit. So let's see if this NASDAQ can finally hold. This is what's on order right now. So there's a lot of, I mean, shout out to my guy Joe over there because he's on TSLL. That's right here as well. So there's decent size there, NVDL as well. So everyone's staying away from the big orders today. That's for sure. It doesn't look like there's much for sale or on balance here early. Mullen, we talked about NIO. That's not, it's already done 25 million shares. So 2 million is still nice. That's still a lot of pressure. We'll see about a $4 short on that. So, all right. So where are my orders? Well, I'm looking at AMD right now. I don't want to get caught up too early on this because yesterday we did that. And so right now I'm offering 107.75. That's $1.40 or so from this level upside. We saw that move yesterday, almost $2 up. So we'll see if we can get something, the 200 periods right there. That's AMD. We're going to keep an eye on Palantir at these levels as well. We just bounced $1 almost. Yeah, right back up to the upside right there. So that was nice. We'll look at some Palantir. Amazon, Uber, Alibaba.
Amazon's at 200.
You're looking at GM, obviously. You
GM just really lost a bid here.
Okay.
So with this now move to the downside, I want no part of shorting GM at this low. Like it's now 9%, 8.5%, almost 9% down. Like that's enough of a move that you can favor. But if you're not already sitting in it, you got to be really patient if this starts coming back into the upside. As you said, Palantir regained support. Oh yeah, GameStop is the other one we're going to have on the open. This has a better chance of filling as we are going to drop the countdown on this Thursday for you. Brought to you by Foremost Clean Energy. The opening bell starts in 2 and 1. Ringing it, Dara. I feel like the new bell is just a little awkward there. So GameStop trying to bounce a little bit here to the open. We're looking to fade a pop in GME if it gets higher. Sorry. I gotta just chuckling over that.
Yeah,
just chuckling over that bell. I can't. Market is coming higher. Palantir making a pretty decisive move to the upside there as, oh goodness, Palantir.
All right, yeah, I mean.
Palantir at 91.5 and really screaming to the upside. There goes like that over-under at 90.80. It's already over, so if you weren't punched long already, play
we are loving, yeah,
NVIDIA headed higher as well. So this actually does have a chance. Get into prior highs or get into that 114.22. Those are 25. Those are the levels we're looking at for NVIDIA. But GameStop as well, looking for a fade at pre-market hops. About $1 away from that, so don't want to get in too early.
All right, the long that we wrote down was Palantir. And there it goes, off of 9. We wrote down, I mean, this, look, man, I mean, some days we have them right off the open. Yesterday we had AMD immediately. We wrote down between 9, I mean, it's right here. You guys can read it. 90 to 91. The low of the day, 90.25. Bye-bye. Palantir right there. I mean, I couldn't believe the story sort of when we read it, what was going on with it. But there goes Tesla as well. I mean, everything is cooking. So we're into Tesla short. We talked about where we were going to wait for that one. 275.75 right now. We were looking at 277, remember? So one, like not even. This is like basically half of one unit. It's kind of not even really. We're waiting up here at 277 right now for Tesla. So that's going to be our first look. And here it comes right now, screaming to the top side, 277. Let's put on a little bit more in case, this is where I don't want to get too much FOMO. We'll put on a little bit there at 276.50. Now we'll watch out. We're short Tesla here to start the day. Remember where our now we're almost $1 in the money. Remember where our ultimate areas were though, 280. So let's be careful about that level. Tesla right now dancing around, that's for sure, as AMD's also coming up. Hey, man, the market likes the tariffs, maybe.
I don't know if they like it, but I think you're getting a relief rally because of how crazy things were to the downside. I'm going to get to GM, and in a second, we're in GME off 26, and we're also, we did not get into NVIDIA. NVIDIA's popping, but it didn't quite. Yeah, we probably should have gotten filled in there on NVIDIA. See if I can't get 112s or just above there. Throw the order in. We're in GME, not Tesla. GM, but we are heading back into the downside for sure. Market's about to break those lows. This is the wick on General Motors. It did pop into 48, and we did not have order out. We just got into GME and out. So the GME is going to be a fail, but I got to get into this GM short if it's going to do that kind of a move.
$2 already. Guys, we're here. We did this yesterday. We're doing this trying to do this every day, giving you these big wins and at least just ideas, whether or not they're big wins or not. They could be big losers, obviously, as well. But there's the idea. Out more of Tesla right there. Let's just wait to see what winds up happening. 274.50s downside. So we'll wait to see if we can get that fill. It does go 274 flat, I think was the low there. So that was the $2 play right there in for that. And again, you know, started from the bottom. Now we're here. Let's see how far we can go upside now. We're still waiting for 280 to come in for TSLA. And oh man, did we just miss it again? Because there's the fill right there. Boom, there's $2. AMD went to 107.50. We're at 107.75. So missed opportunity, but oh boy, Neil, we did not miss it right now, as there goes Tesla. Now $2, guys, nicely cooking in the money. Neil, did I say 2? That was my bad. Now $3 in the money as we go lower now on Tesla. So there it is, man. Stick with the ideas that you have, man. Get in, get out. Neil did that on GME. We're trying to do that a little bit on Tesla and waiting to hold it. Let's see if it can come in. We've already got out of 10%. We're waiting for third. There it is. Bang, there's your $3 winner right there off the jump. So yeah, we're cooking right now, man. And there goes Tesla. There we go. That's one day met right there. So we talked about yesterday, we wound up battling back at the end of the day, but there we go already. So let's just wait to see. We did have a good cash out there at 73, the day's low. So that was a big order for us, which is why we got a little excited there. Let's see what Tesla winds up doing. Hey man, could still rip your face off. The market was just at lows.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by GM, not GME, GM. GME is still trying to go. I can see a squeeze there. I wait that one out, but GM caught a wick to 48 and is now breaking 46. I thought it would maybe pop, but I didn't think it would drop this fast. It's already breaking the lows. I did not want to punch any low of the days today at 9% to the downside. So I'm trying to get picked back up. You're still in the opening range. There's a chance we can get a pop to the upside. NVIDIA, similar story on NVIDIA. Hit enter too fast, and we just go to the black chart right away. So NVIDIA, I'm trying to get short in front of the pre-market high. We tried to let it be patient on that pop, didn't want to get run over. So when it wicked 112.50, threw the offer on the way back down, still looking to get picked up with it there. And then GME, because I want to make sure we show you it all. GameStop does, I just hit enter. What is going on, GME? Hit enter twice. There we go.
Yeah, get it a couple times.
There we go. Always have to hit it twice. GME runs the stops, and I'm trying to get into GM, and then it comes right back into the downside. So I did get some out for profit on the way down, and then took the stop out. So we got filled when it broke through 26. We added when it broke through 25.90. It then immediately found a bid at 75. Going to try to get back in on the next available pops. I'm shorting pops in all three of those names if we get the chance. But it's GM that's surprising me in terms of its volatility. Did not really see that coming. If it's going to be that low, and I can't get in till maybe VWAP, going to look elsewhere because Ford is breaking trend. So this one is going to have to be the backup. Take Ford and give it to 1030 at this point because GM is way too weak. And literally, as I say it, Ford breaks.
We'll take we'll take another out here. I may just be on this all day, but right now Tesla into 273. Let's give it a little bit of a shot right there. And as I say that, of course, coming right in is Palantir. So there's
Palantir broke 80.
Yeah, Palantir broke. Yeah, so now we're long Palantir right now. This was the level that we were wanting to talk about down here into $90. So here comes Palantir right back in right now. So all right, Palantir, if we can go back up, we'll take that as well. 78, 79. I mean, here we go again. We'll take out some Palantir. We'll take out we'll take out some profit right there on that name as it's coming back into the 70s. So we'll do that. Sharif, $3 right now short on Tesla right there. But we're battling with Palantir right here, flat on Palantir right now. So Tesla really tanking in now. Here we go, Neil. 273 now. Short up here. It's the call that we made early. Let's see if it can last. But Palantir's the one. If we break below 90, man, this is what we have written on here. We talked about better longs are like 88, 89. if this market's going to bleed, we don't need to throw up all over ourselves here with Palantir. So let's just be careful with it. I'm going to reduce the shares, actually, that I have waiting down there at 10, and then we'll see if we can get some better positions. There it is. So we got another position on right now on Palantir. We just got a dollar cost average down, but we lowered the amount of shares because this name's coming in a lot.
Oh,
and
Ford's tanking.
Yeah, and we don't want to wash our Tesla trade here with a bad decision on Palantir. So, all right, that's what Palantir is. We just got a nice little bump up in it, so let's get some more out here on Palantir as Tesla is the one holding fort for me here. Go Palantir, let's go, man. Can we go 2 for 2?
So when 90.80 broke yesterday's low on Palantir, I went short through 90.80
Nice.
on the way down. I just got into GM. We'll get there in a second because Ford just broke down lower and GM is actually catching a bid. I think Palantir just found a bid at 90. Just a reminder to everybody, got to throw it in here. 90, you're at the 50-period moving average. So that's an obvious level that I think Palantir has a chance to hold. So just going to throw that out for everybody. Ford, big tank. Right when I was, literally as I was saying, oh my God, Ford is breaking down. My goodness, Ford is breaking down. I tried to punch short. You saw me miss it. Live. So Palantir, I want to take 90s if we can get it or just in front. I think I'm sitting at 12s, but GM just came back into VWAP. So this wick, if you can see it, it's about 47.2. So I want to give it to the quarters on General Motors. If it closes the next bar underneath VWAP, then I want to add on GM. So just in those two names, NVIDIA no fills yet, I think is the big one. As Palantir must have just hit 90.
It did, yeah. It took out 90.
I got to cancel this NVIDIA order. NVIDIA's not coming up there. You're not going to get a pop, it looks like, here on NVIDIA. Market just broke 20,000. Palantir is still holding the 90 level. But that's that 50 period on the daily. I wanted to give it a shot to hold. I'm going to short pops in this as long as we're under prior day lows on Palantir. Going to be continuously looking short. Yeah, the chips must be bleeding. There's got to be another chip chip name that I can find. The other stock, one more before we go to Adara. Neo is holding the low. So I was thinking we get down to 370, 360s, we put a long on. But if it doesn't break the low, there's only one place to go, as a saying of mine. So I don't want to sleep on Neo. It's got a pretty big gap to fill. And it was just an offering for Neo. That was the news. I mean, stock that you expect to dilutes, that can only be so bad. If it gets 10% down, I'd look SSR.
Adara?
Oh, right, Adara. Yeah.
Keep an eye here on Foremost Clean Energy. Our friends at Foremost here announced they've kicked off site preparation for their 2025 drill campaign at the Hatchet Lake Uranium Project in Athabasca Basin there in northern Saskatchewan. They're basically going to be targeting 2,000 meters of diamond drilling in high priority areas that they're building on past data from Denison mines, where you got some shallow sandstone covering, enabling efficient exploration. They also did announce here that one of their board members, Jonathan Moore, has resigned, and they're actively seeking a new independent director. Back to you.
All right, just covering more there on Tesla as it's just trying to bounce off 273. It seems like that might be the bottom, so we'll cover more of it here as now it's starting to bounce just a little bit higher here for everybody, I guess. That's long on Tesla. We're going to basically just watch out for that name. You were mentioning on AMD as well. All the chip names, not just AMD specifically, of course. But yeah, we'll wait to see what's going to happen here with these names back into the downside maybe for chip names. I mean, I was looking to try to go short there at 107. Now we have to adjust it. Our level was 108. We were at 107.75. It gets as high as 107.50. And we had purposely attempted to stay away from some of these names earlier on. You know, we saw Palantir come screaming back in. Like Palantir went 92 to 89.50 or whatever. Micron. So, okay, and there it goes. Yeah, Micron might be a name to look at. People were a little bit wondering. We're wondering about Broadcom in the last couple of days.
ARM got destroyed already.
Oh, ARM
Look at these chip names, everybody. ARM, 3.5% down. Micron breaking lower and flat bottom breaking. You know what? 85 could come there today. Just very quickly, this is the daily chart on Micron. That is 85. That is where everyone in the world has been buying it. Probably an overstatement, but yeah, you're only $4 away from it. So I'm going mean reversion if we see any. Once you're at 86, I'm looking for a reversal long on Micron. Sometimes life comes at you fast, and in a down market, the bid comes at you even faster. So want to be locked and loaded and ready for that opportunity. Trying to reload GM here off of VWAP. If it breaks 42.75, I think I give this short up. Palantir, I think it was the right decision to see what happens after the 90 level, because it's now wicked the 90 level twice. that was me selling my order. So I had to break low short, one filled, one didn't, and I don't want to sit there. I'll allow it to come into VWAP and play that by ear as it pops up. I want to get it on the way down if I can, if it makes a pop to the upside on Palantir. So only in GM for now, as another name that's going wild in the downside in chipland is SMCI. Why that's interesting to me is it's holding and hugging VWAP, kind of the way GM is. So I did pay for, pretty sure I paid for locates on SMCI, got blitzed yesterday. This is another opportunity to short a pop if we can get it, because there hasn't been a chip name that I've been able to get into to the south side.
All right. Yeah, what's up with this? So right now, Tesla is absolutely banging to the upside right now. So good, I mean, a good sort of cover up there for Tesla down at the bottom. But I mean, these are the levels. We talked about sitting at 277. So we just reloaded a very small amount. We're not, like I said, man, today's going to be a very, very interesting day, especially in tariff land. And it's going to be led by, you know, some of these names. So as Tesla does come back up to the upside right now, we're going to wait to see about what happens closer to 280 because, you know, we're in it. We're not in it too heavy, but, you know, we did get back in and, you know, we still are short. We had some great covers down there, but as the market's doing this, Tesla's doing this. So again, a little bit of a confusing message here I'm getting from TSLA. So let's just be very, very careful with it is at the end of the day. Here's what I'm trying to say. We're flat on Palantir on the day, you know, picked up that long, got out there, you know, we got dripped out there. We know that. We saw that as it broke through 90. We talked about getting out when that happened. And then Palantir, if we come back, oh, he's adjusting. That's okay, Fabian. Just keep it on here for a minute. Just go do whatever you're doing, then I'll get this figured out. So there we go. Fabian's running the board by himself over there, so doing lots. Okay, so there goes Palantir, and I just wanted to show you that was one of those reload areas. We're going to get some more out here. Let's go. Yes, 50s. We got 50s. There we go, man. Nice move as well. There comes Tesla. There goes Palantir. So far, so good here today, man. We're banging out some winners for you on the show. So good so far. Let's see if we can keep it going. We do need Tesla to drop, though, man. I mean, Tesla's the one that we have more. Okay, let's go Palantir, man. Reverse dollar club right there on Palantir. It's like the reverse sweep in hockey. There it goes, man. And now $1 in the money long on PLTR and out of the money 40 cents flat now on Tesla as it's coming back in. Oh boy, this could be a great, I mean, I'm always thinking every day could be a great day. But here comes Tesla. Let's go. Let's ring that. Oh, we're at 15s. Bang. There's the register rung again over here, Neil. Man, oh man, today is getting pretty good over here. Go, I don't know, you're on GM, so stick to your guns.
I'm glad we're out of Palantir. I think we got the right spot on PLTRs. It's catching a bit of a bid. I'm reloading GM. Got to zoom in. Going to reload GM here underneath VWAP, still giving it to the same level. You see the second bar at the open, at the quarters. We'll give it to that price. I was just gearing up on Tesla if it was going to get to that 280, because we said 280 was going to be the level. It's still trending up to it. So I like Tesla at 280. We're going to go for it when it gets there. Let's go to Adara.
But I hear on NVDA, which is bouncing pretty nicely here, CNBC reporting that this company is going to be anchoring CoreWeave's deal. So CoreWeave set to IPO tomorrow. Apparently, they're going to be having a $250 million order. CoreWeave set apparently for about a $40 per share IPO. Again, this is just reported by CNBC, not yet confirmed, but watch out for CoreWeave. It's supposed to IPO on Friday. That'll be tomorrow, guys. Also, we do have some economic data coming through at 10 a.m. Nothing major, but some pending home sales data to digest at 10. Back to you.
I don't see it. I was just talking to Obi about that, about the IPO that should be tomorrow in CoreWeave. You know what? That's worth talking about a little bit later because they use the old H100 chip, and that's what they rent out to everybody, which obviously is not the latest technology. And I think they could come under a little bit of pressure because of that. It makes sense to me. If the market has downward sentiment, like, how can it be good for them if all their clients are using the old stuff and you want the good?
Yeah,
so
I can see that.
Just bid 46.6 on GM. Want to go back over to Tesla because I think we have a chance. Like it's so close to 280, and the second it breaks this trend, it's close enough to the 280 level that I want to take a trend reversal here. So there's your 280 area from the opening range yesterday. I think we look for that trend reverse there. I got to slap the fail. Like it's position pending on GM. Palantir worked, but I lost shorting the initial move on GME, and now it's absolutely flushing. I'm not chasing it down here. I'll just be patient enough to wait for it to pop and maybe give me a shot at VWAP because kind of bungled that one. Sometimes you get in too early. I know we always talk about that, but it happens out there every now and then. And nothing on NVIDIA yet either. That one hasn't given any kind of a pop that I like.
All right. We're just arms crossed here waiting for Tesla. If there's anything, I have another bid here at 275.60 for adult. What? Wow, there goes Tesla right there to the downside, man. Your boy is here. We're trading Tesla, and it is an absolute monster banger right now for us on TSLA. I'm going to cancel all the bids, man. That's what we were just doing. Let's get some more out right there. Bang. There's 250, Neil. Here we go to the downside. Tesla really starting to go, man. And let's just get out of some of our Palantir, man. I mean, Palantir, we were able to get out right there at VWAP, but there it is coming right back in. Oh, boy, man. $3 now in the money for Tesla. Adara.
This part of the show brought to you by Foremost. Unlock the nuclear renaissance with Foremost Clean Energy, leveraging one of the biggest mega trends on the planet, nuclear energy. Partnered with Denison Mines with properties strategically located in the Athabasca Basin, known as the Saudi Arabia of uranium. This undervalued company is poised to capitalize on the exploding nuclear market and offers unparalleled growth potential. The future is nuclear, and Foremost is your entry. On the NASDAQ under FMST and on the CSE as FAT, or you can just go to foremostcleanenergy.com for details. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adair. Appreciate you. I just missed Palantir. I'll show you in a quick little second. But GM broke that quarter mark, so we're going to be out of it. Tesla broke trend, so we're looking to get into Tesla as it broke the trend line. But there goes GM through 42, 47.25. I still want this if we get anywhere to the pre-market high or 49. So a couple of shots I'm willing to take in General Motors. I think we have a chance to get it. Palantir just came back to our, here it is, wicked VWAP. Came back underneath it. I tried to get it on the way down. I didn't get it on the way down, so on the way back up, we'll give it to that prior bar high at 91 even on Palantir. Still nothing in the chip space. Haven't found anything that I've been in love with just yet, but you don't have to force the action. Palantir and some of these auto names are definitely giving you enough love. So had the trend line drawn, but you can see it broke the trend line to the downside. Give it to the prior bar close, which is 77.5, not the lower high. I always like the prior bar exit. If you're giving it a couple bucks, want to make sure it's breaking VWAP before we get out on Tesla. And I'm willing to short this one multiple times until it gets above $280. As long as it's not there, then I think we can be good to go on Tesla. Waiting for that trend line to break. Not going to get back into GM until it gets at least to $48, and it's getting there pretty quick. Let me get my stop.
Yeah, $4 on Tesla, $1 on Palantir as we go. Yeah, so there it goes, man. This is the thing, right? I mean, this is what we're doing. We're trading here. We're bringing the energy. We're showing you everything. We're giving stuff away for free. Right there with the stick, obviously we have 280 written down there for Tesla. So I told you we're already going to wait for that level to come back through, and then we'll trade that again. So right now, you can see our positions. I'm out of the money 40 cents on Tesla, which is completely fine. We're out of half of our trade already on that name. So far, so good there as we wait to see what the next stage here is for TSLA. And then part of our 2-for-2 plan here would be to also be trading Palantir. And again, these are just two ideas that you guys are looking for something. I just trade what I talk about. There's Tesla, there's Palantir, there's the long 90 to 91. That's what we have. Here's the short Tesla all day. We're also looking at the TQs and AMD. So those are the other names that I'm going to be focused on. And of course, checking out the chat as we get closer and closer and get a little bit lighter in our positions. I'll be able to look at some of the names that you guys have for offer. So I know Neil's been on GME and GM and now on Tesla. So we're all and Palantir actually. So we're all on a bunch of these things right now. So that's what we're doing here. Let's just wait to see what winds up happening in this market and then address some of the other plays. I mean, GameStop, you already
NVIDIA's coming.
Sort of already had that. NVIDIA's coming upside?
NVIDIA is close, almost there.
All right.
I mean, you already saw Palantir. If it breaks this prior bar high, I'm going to be out of it. But NVIDIA just popped, so it just went on Palantir. So that reload is going to be out. We'll wait for a third chance at it. Don't want to take a third crack at it just yet, but I'm willing to still grab it if it does the over-under at that 91 level one more time. So there goes NVIDIA right into the high. Wanted to wait for it to get there. It did opening wicket right to this top, but we weren't quite fast enough to get it. So looking for a secondary pop. If we close not breaking this high, then I still want the NVIDIA short. It's short the pops until proven otherwise on these plays. So we're going to get into NVIDIA, I think, any second now, and then give it to that prior bar on NVDA. It's the only chip name that came into play for me. Looked at SMCI, that wasn't quite there. Didn't want to chase on Micron or ARM or any of those, so just had to stick back to the plan in NVIDIA. We'll get to GameStop in a quick little second. Just want to adjust my stop order there. And the eyeballs are still going to be on PLTR, so I don't mind getting back in. Like if it breaks, I'll get out, but I'll jump right back in if it's just a wick out. Nothing wrong with that. Palantir still making lower highs. It's just battling yesterday's low. And that's the price. I don't want to fight it if it's breaking out above that price.
All right, yeah, we just took $1.20 the other way there on Palantir. So me and Neil going, making money, but trying to go oppo here. So we'll just wait. I mean, the market's doing this thing. So I'm covering here. Like we have a bunch of covers. So it's not like I'm in love with this long or anything as we continue to do exactly that cover. So right now we only have a third left of this trade. But a third left of this trade is still great, man. This has put us obviously positive on this name as we lost it there, got it back, and there it goes right there to the upside. All right, so we wait for Tesla. I do have a bid down here at 276, which will give us that dollar club. I mean, we like the dollar club. Let's just hit it again because now Palantir going ham right now to the upside. There it goes, $1.30 now. Sorry, guys, I don't want to get too excited. $1.30 now up into the right goes PLTR. And again, like, I don't even have to get excited, right? All I have to do is just keep addressing you guys to come over here where we talked about Palantir 90 to 91 long right there. It's at 91.50. As we said, like, no matter what about that story, I liked the long take there in Palantir. And there, wow, 90. Okay, I got to get out some more up here as now this is really starting to go. All right, there it goes, man, $1.70 now. PLTR, nice move higher. All right, man. Oh, so I saw you got out of Tesla. Tesla's out of spot right now, up to 279. So watch out now. Here comes Tesla screaming higher.
I'm out and waiting for 80 at this point. I want to try to keep it in the pocket. Gave back half we lost what we made on Tesla yesterday. And right now we got 280 and 281 right in here. Opening range. Wait for the next trade. It's going to be a similar spot to PLTR, where we got out of Palantir with the willingness to get back in, but not the willingness to hold it past our level. So if Palantir goes all the way to the top at 92.5, then I can get it there, or we can get back underneath 91 in VWAP, and that's going to be where the reentry is. But the second you start running, I'm going to get the you-know-what out of Dodge. It's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. So I think Tesla's about to get to this 280 level. That's going to be the second grab at it for sure as we look to get our shot one time in. I want to get one shot at it. It either breaks the trend and flushes, or we're going to be out of it and resolve itself pretty quickly there. So Tesla, that 280 is going to be next for sure. GME, just to go back to GameStop, it has yet to make another pop. It's trying to bounce now. Still have eyeballs on it, looking at VWAP. And I guess it's also the aftermarket low. So they give you some confluence at 25.5 on GameStop. It is short sell restricted. Uptick rule is in effect, which makes it easier to short pops than it is to hit the bid when it comes down.
Okay, yeah, so we just reshorted up here at 279, 278, 75 or so there. So we'll just wait. I mean, it's 75 cents in the money on that reload, but we're waiting for lower, obviously, as we're still short at 277 and change right there. So, okay, we'll watch out to see what happened. Oh, I moved over my net button. I have to move that over so I can see that a little bit clearer here on my blotter. Okay, so here we go. All right, so 279 and change. So we are waiting. We're waiting up here, so close. As you know, it's getting up to that 280 marker. So we'll just average in very, very small, but we do have an order right here ready to go to get this trade and see about shorting it through right now. So, okay, it's coming upside. Might not get us where we need to be here for that position, but we'll take some and then watch to see what the next play is here for Tesla. We just missed.
It's not filling anything close to 79.
No, the best fill I got there was 30s, I believe. Yeah, we got 24s right there. So we'll wait to see what is now up with that. So good little trade so far here on Tesla as we get that top tick up there. But we're just getting in small. We want to get a little bit bigger as we get closer. We have a good position. Don't get me wrong, but we're trying to get a little bit lighter on that one. It's now 1 and 2 right there for PLTR. Let's get out of one more piece up here again as it just keeps on hovering around. So there we go, man. Tesla, we got that price there. It goes, it's $1 off of our last reload, but of course we want to get a little bit lower than that. It's too bad, man. We just missed a much bigger fill. So we'll wait to see now what's going on there. Look, I'm staying true to what we're talking about here. We'll go 2 for 2 today with Tesla and Palantir and just continue to watch it. Hopefully we do get a little closer to that 280 so we can get more shares. But for right now, it's a nice little pullback in. We just shorted that. We might as well cover at least a little bit down here for a little bit of a profit, if we can even get that. We'll just bid in the teens right there, 278 teens to wait for it. And there go, Palantir is an absolute rocket ship. Now 92 right there for the king of the castle. Palantir and Alex Karp just continues, man, to make new highs here. Well, almost. That 92 was a good one. We'll see if it can get a little bit higher than that. But there's Tesla. Nice move to the downside. And oh boy, props it up right there for everybody that's trading this name today as Tesla making it rain to the downside, but also upside. I feel like the longs have been better plays, guys. Like the long off the 200 period, this has just been better. We're just fighting the top right now. So congratulations, man. Chef Joe and everybody. Whoever was long this name, man, my props go up to you. You nailed that. The long is the better play. We made all our money early, and right now we're not struggling. I mean, we're in the money, but, you know, we're trying to get this to make that move down. Why fight the trend? It's been a good move there for Tesla long. So congratulations, everybody that's been hammering that one long, and Palantir.
Yeah, the market is bouncing. There's no question about that. But you're actually still negative on a bunch of names. The NASDAQ just got to overnight highs right in here. So it looks like we're pressing into that range. ES, not quite there yet. It's, yeah, a few shekels away from getting to that top. NVIDIA still underneath resistance. The 114 quarter, as long as it was underneath that, I'm not bullish on it. Did a topping tail candle, so I'm jumping back in. I tried to get the top of the wick here and get some money fills over 113. Wasn't able to do so, but we got some on the way down underneath 113 at the 82 level. Trying to add to it if we can, but I want to do so on pops, at least for now. In a strong market, you want to try to let it get to you. Before we go to Adair, we have numbers in a couple seconds. Palantir, we shorted under VWAP. Now we're waiting for it to test that 92.4. Yeah. 92.5. It gets to 92.5, then we take a shot at it. And Tesla still hasn't gone to 280, but it is getting there. Adair.
92.5.
Let's take a look here at some economic data. We just here at 10 a.m. had the pending home sales come out here month over month. 2% versus 1% expected, so a little bit higher than expected, also higher than the previous print of negative 4.6. The pending homes index here coming in at 72, a little bit above the previous print of 70.6. Here's the market continuing to bounce really nicely. Nice V-shaped recovery for this one. We know the market was really spooked here by announcements of auto tariffs. Here's TSLA. One that actually held up relatively well, but again, they're not purely an auto company. They have the robotics element as well. Regardless, TSLA looking nice, and as mentioned earlier, pushing towards 280. It's worth noting as well, Wedbush analysts estimating that these tariffs could add up to $5,000 to $10,000 in car prices. So higher priced vehicles could be a good look for the industry as well, despite the tariff-related hits. GME and Neo, this is GME pictured here, here's Neo, both announcing here share offerings. So offerings on watch here for Neo and GameStop. Neo recovering nicely, but GME, as you just saw, is still at day's lows, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, GameStop.
Yeah, Neo could get to 420. It's too bad Neo didn't get lower. I actually thought it was a long 360.
I forgot to look at that, actually.
At the all-time low, I would have gone long on NIO, but it never got there. It was still like 5 or 6% away. Maybe a little bit more than that. Tesla just got to 279.5.
What?
Ish? No, it didn't.
Almost. No, it didn't.
No, it didn't. Okay, so like 30 something. It got close. It got close to this lower high. So I got the first entry in. The top here is 280.70 from yesterday's opening range. So I still think you have some room to go. NVIDIA is still trying to, I wanted to say trying to climb higher, but it's not giving any more fills above 113. It might sneak in at the 90s. If we're going to reload this, looking for VWAP on the outside of NVIDIA. Palantir is getting really close to that 92.5, but not there just yet. And GameStop, my goodness, GameStop. All right, it's still on those lows. Looking for 25s. I've canceled the VWAP order. Well, I'm canceling the VWAP order, I should say. I actually forgot to do so. I'm going to short this one into 25. Just want to short pops in GameStop. Every single chance that we get in GME, we're going to take a shot at it. If there's any other names, I know we haven't looked at a lot of the other Mag 7 names. I'm probably going to look over Amazon at some point and regret the fact that we didn't look at that 200 period moving average, which is also at $200 on AMZN. But I came in bearish today, so I don't want to give up that notion yet.
All right, yeah, we're, you guys know what we're doing here. We're in, oh, that's Palantir, sorry. Palantir was, I'm still waiting for that 92.20. I do have an offer there, but here goes Tesla, here goes Tesla. So we'll wait, man. I mean, we don't have a choice. If it breaks 280, then we are going to be out of Tesla. So this is what we're doing. We're short at 278.90s. So a dollar club, you know, reverse dollar club here. If it breaks a little bit higher than that, it looks like it's going right here again. So yeah, man, not good, obviously. But like I said, I was already thinking the longs. Like, look at the market. The market is screaming here for the last couple minutes. I mean, nice move right back up to day's high again for the market. I am bidding down here at 278. If we can get a fill down there, that'd be pretty good to take that $1 because looks like very, very soon it's about to get clocked right there up to 280. I mean, everybody's looking at the same levels, so probably will get run, and that's what trading's all about. You know, making your plays, making your calls, and sitting in them, and that's what it is, right? You're not going to get perfect all the time, but here we go. Oh, just bounced off 279. I thought maybe we were getting a little bit of a pullback there, so we'll wait to see if that does come through. It's trying right now. So here we go. Yeah, let's go. We need this to come back in. I am actually just bidding. I'm bidding some 278.60s here for a downside. So let's wait. All right. Well, we'll just have to wait to see what's going on right now. Tesla just definitely refusing to make that move right now, it seems like.
It just had a bit of a seller that tried to battle it on Tesla. It was right at about 65 that they came in, and then they held it at 79 even. Every even dollar except 77 is going to be a bid on Tesla. But I'm going to reload this one in front of, well, you guys know 280. 280 is 280. So we'll reload in front of 280. 280 breaks, we're out. And going to take it every even dollar except for 77. I think if 78 goes, you're going to see VWAP hold. So we got more of NVIDIA. This is still cresting a little bit here, but got to jump on over to, I said, Amazon. Yeah, Amazon at 200. Amazon's a long. So Amazon held 200 in the 200 period. If it trended, I said in the afternoon, if it trended above this tomorrow, I would go long. I'm rolling my eyes because was it on my list? No. Did we do it? No. So then the only way to rectify it is to move over and take the trade if it presents itself. So as long as we're holding 200 in the 200 period, I'm going to buy dips in Amazon. VWAP would be the first place to start. I'll get rid of that wick at some point later in the day. So Tesla just did the same thing again, where it came up. It's filling in the high 90s, and then 79 area. I guess it's really only filling up to like 78, 79. I don't know if it's filled the 90s yet.
I just got a 90 fill.
Where am I sitting? Yeah, I didn't get it. I'm just going to move it.
Yeah, I'm taking some out for flat there on Tesla. I mean, it keeps on bouncing off 279, so we'll take some out there for flat again. We're playing with shares. So there it goes, breaking. There it goes, it broke. So there goes breaking through 280 right now.
Right back.
There for Tesla. So yeah, like I said, that was going to be definitely a level that many traders were going to look at right there. So there's the break on 280. So there it goes. Now trying to go back up to the upside. There it goes, taking out 30. So we get stopped out there on the fail as it goes long through 280 is Tesla. So I said that we'd like to look at the reverse, but let's just see if there is enough juice here to get this going right now. So here's a little bit of a pullback in again. Remember, they were buying these levels up before, so we'll definitely have another look right now at Tesla. As I'm going to try to get a little long here on that name and finally join the right side of the party here, hopefully into Tesla. So we like to break longer in that name. So if we're able to get that now, then maybe it's there for the long. So there we go, man. I mean, this is what trade. Like I said, this is what it's about. There's the break as everyone looks at the same names. Tesla, everyone was at 280 if you're on that level. So no surprise there that it breaks a little bit higher, and now it's trying to figure out which way to go. I'd hate to see that was maybe the top, but if you're going to look at it, that's the NASDAQ. So if you're going to look at Tesla there, yesterday we still have room to go. Like yesterday we had that wick up to 285, 286, and we talked about where it was on the close yesterday as well. So if they really want to buy this name, Tesla up 2.5% today, there it is. So we do have some highs from yesterday that can still get met. But anyways, yeah, there goes the 280 stops. Yeah, well, we knew, like I said, sort of knew that something like that was going to happen. But now we want to play it back. I mean, VWAP, I think we just want to stay the long there on Tesla now. 278 right here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they ran those stops, but at the end of the day, I forget the exact price, but it was Tesla maybe 2 days ago where it came up into an even dollar level. Maybe it was last week. And I'm going to take it out. And if there's a clean re-entry, I'll get in. I don't think it was all that clean, the re-entry, because I saw it go back above like a couple of times. And by the time it was clean, you were chasing the move. So I'm not back into Tesla. I am back into GameStop at a worse price because it's trending down. So you just got to do what you got to do. The low is 24.50. So I'm scalping in front of, ideally I get some 90s, but I only have 80s right now. I'm going to scalp out in front of 24.5 on GameStop, remembering that this is short sell restricted, right? So, you're going to have to try to take it on the offer in order to get filled short, as I said before. NVIDIA is still kind of cresting. This might get into VWAP, but let's respect VWAP here. Like the market is up, we're above 20,000. I want to respect VWAP. If you get a retracement wick on an upward trending stock, then what's the line that you have for VWAP? It's get a good one that Brian Shannon used to always say.
When there's a gap, you play it back.
Yeah, when there's a gap, play it back to VWAP. So there is the gap from prior day close into VWAP, and I'm getting out of NVIDIA at VWAP. GameStop is a different story. I'm holding GameStop through the low of the day and shorting pops. But for NVIDIA, we're just going to take it out in front of VWAP.
Yeah, wow.
Play it back to VWAP.
Oh, man, for professional traders, man, we're definitely not professionally trading this Tesla here as there it goes, man, right into that level and now right back down in. So, again, I'm like surprised at where Tesla's going right now, obviously, as we were looking for the short. But at the end of the day, it does hit that stop. So right now, it's like there's view up at 276. So I'm going to try to now flip the momentum up and see if we can get long. I'm not worried about it. We're not layering into this trade like crazy here or anything like that. We are going to wait for a 276. I'll take a 277. We just went to 277.50. We're going to try to breathe a little bit and let this settle down because, it took its time early. We were able to take some profits and then eventually got ran there. Remember, we lost $1.30 on it, so it's not, completely a position where we have to worry too much about it, but it still is done. So we'll have to wait to see right now. It's early, it's 10-10. This name could still rally. We've talked about some of the tariff plays today as well. GM, I mean, pretty sloppy the same way as it goes right to the pre-market highs right there and then falls right in. So to look at that one, that held that top. But again, a nice move down, then a nice move up, holding the top there on GM. Another name that we could look at right here, Ford. I was even asking on Twitter there to everybody, like, why is Ford up? And I don't know, but there it is, comes right back in there, right off the open, like smack right down there. So it's like...
On a note on that, I want to shout out to, there were a few people in the chat that were sort of talking about, hey, every single automaker has a different set of circumstances when it comes to what they're importing in terms of parts and how many plants they have outside of the country. And if you really know your stuff, you can probably suss all that out. I think we just try to stick with price action to the best of our ability. My daughter's been saying suss a lot.
Yeah.
So whatever lingo she tends to use, it ends up just getting in my psyche. So we'll go 1 for 2 on NVIDIA, but I'm out. I said I'm going to get out if it wicks VWAP. It did. So I jumped out of NVIDIA. I still think when you're on an upward trend, it is what it is. We're 1 for 2 on it, but I'm not feeling as biased to the short side as I was before. Oh, GME just caught a bid. I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. Oh, it wasn't that much.
We need something catching bids here.
No, it wasn't even that much. When you have it up and I'm watching the time and sales on the side, and then I just see like a sea of green, but really it wasn't even that big. So a bunch of it was probably just dark pools that went off inside 1 or 2 cents. So GameStop, it's bouncing off the lows. I'm going to short it into 25. Just play that as it lies. The other thing worth watching, I know you liked AMD, and this is why. Like, I just got out of NVIDIA. This is NVIDIA. Pull back, okay, fine. It went 13 to 12, holding VWAP. AMD, same move, broke VWAP at the low of the day. Which one's weaker? AMD. Past 10 o'clock. I can acknowledge. I can be up on NVIDIA and say AMD is weaker, and that's the one that should be the short. So I think a pivot to AMD or maybe SMCI. What's SMCI? SMCI, higher lows, still underneath the bottom. AMD looks a little weaker to me than NVIDIA. So I don't mind pivoting to this to look for the next pop up. Maybe short VWAP on that. It's what it is. Like NVIDIA might get back to the high. if you're at the low of the day when the market's near the top, I think it's easier to say that's what I should short next.
What's Palantir still up? Yeah, I was going to say Palantir's really not doing anything. The only name that's really moving around for me here now, obviously, is Tesla, as we're in that one, as it's coming back into 277 there again. So that was our last reload. 278.50. Like, we could lose $1.30 long and then $1.30 short, it looks like right now as well. The other way around. Lose it short, then lose it long. Like, frustrating. I'm going to try to get something out at 278 in case we rally back a little bit, take a 50-cent hit on 10% of it, just because we were okay, there it is. So we got 96s, I think it was. We had 95s. So, okay, now it's starting to battle back just a little bit as we try to go back into the money now. We'll take out a small piece here as well if this move continues. But ultimately, at the end of the day, this name just, if it can get back up there to 279, 280, then we'll be right back where we need to be. But, yeah, not good right now on the fade of Tesla right there at 280. I mean, we dinged that level perfectly. It's just we got stopped out at 30. It didn't even go up 40 cents. We got stopped out there at 30. So I was stopped out by 11 cents, and then we missed out on $4. So this is what I'm talking about with trader dilemma. It's like, where do you get stopped out? You know, like I got stopped out there, missed it by 9 cents, and then the thing dropped $4, $3.50. To the downside, right? And so there's an out. All right, well, you know what? At the end of the day here, we'll see if we can get to Greensville here just on this trade alone on Tesla. Now long 278.20, 50 cents in the money, but we'll wait for it. We do have a top tick here as well that just happened on Palantir. Where am I on this one? Oh no, we're at 92.28. That's literally the high of the day. We're just going to put it right there now at, let's go back to 20s. We'll just go there. If it comes back up, great for us on that one, as that's $2 and change as the market's trying to get back up. The TQQ short that we wanted was a little bit higher than where we are right now. We're looking sort of like at 20,200 or so, up near 64s, so that could get excited as well. Oh boy, here we go. Shout out to my guy, Obi. But here we go now for Tesla, starting to get a little bit excited here as that's starting to battle back. So we may have just like, there he goes, gets him out at 279. We may have just weathered the storm there with that move down. So again, patience does pay sometimes. We're able to take profit early on Tesla on the short, lost on the short late, and then just flipped it up. And now we're long in the money now, $1 long. But again, let's take some profit slowly on Tesla and see if we can get back up to those glory days.
Shout out to Worksport, introducing a new discovery on the NASDAQ, and it is Worksport, ticker WKSP. Worksport is a US-based manufacturer and rapidly expanding with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off-grid. Whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, Worksport has you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP, discover the future of clean energy with Worksport. And clean energy? Yeah. Mining isn't necessarily going to be clean, but nope. Yeah, Bitcoin just went green if you actually care about the close on IBIT, but it double bottomed. And I know we weren't looking at this at the open because I was starting out bearish, but there's your double bottom on the 15-minute. We're at 86.5, which has been a pretty good spot. I'm going to buy VWAP on this bad boy for sure. I was just thinking if I shouldn't be. I got out of NVIDIA. I got to zoom back in for you guys. I got out of NVIDIA when it bounced off VWAP, saying it's trending to the upside. Well, the other side of it is I didn't reverse at that time, but if it gives another bounce off VWAP, I think I should reverse it this time through on NVIDIA. But I do like that IBIT. We'll take a shot at that one for sure. And I mean, Tesla's doing the same thing, so I could look at that. But the other name, as I said, Amazon, didn't get to VWAP, but it did bounce and made a higher low off of the pre-market high. So that's right in here, 201.40. Amazon has held 200. Amazon has held the 200 period moving average on the daily there. So I just think your all systems go on Amazon. And we're going to pick this one up off the bid if we get a chance. Still plenty of time till we get to 11 o'clock. A bit of a difference, though. I should mention this. Usually if you get into a trend long, you can hold it all day. I'm actually out of here at 11 o'clock to go home and pick up my daughter from school. We're going to the game today. So I have like 40 minutes left to trade. So it's going to be all scalp trades for me. Like I'm not thinking Amazon all the way to 205 because I don't think it has any chance to get to 205 before 11 o'clock. I do think if it holds VWAP and trends higher, I mean, this is more like 203.80, but 203.80 to 205 I think is reasonable for a bounce the way that Amazon has done it today. Wick underneath 200, higher lows. If the market goes green, Amazon was one of those stocks that was at a really good bounce level. Amazon held 200 yesterday. This is a bad wick on the daily chart. Ignore that. Amazon held 200. I don't know what's up with that chart. You can see. Oh, it's these wicks. Yeah, so Amazon holding 200 yesterday. Want to buy some dips.
All right. We're still, I mean, we're doing the same stuff over here. Failed again. I mean, we didn't fail, but Tesla failed again at 280, but we just sat there and took some out. So we were $2 in the money at that point. So nicely done up to the upside. We are looking to get out more as Tesla comes up to 280 again. Remember, it only broke once. And then as we look back at our notes, of course, we had Tesla marked down as a 280 short. So to be long 278 when we had sort of talked about a 280 short is kind of giving me some kind of ways. So we'll start to get some more out here on Tesla and just be like, okay, today price action pretty tricky there on TSLA. And, we're able to obviously admit that, but still stay in the pocket and still be able to try and see about it. So there we go. We get another out there at 50. So it's 60 cents. And like Neil said, I'm here for the home runs as well. But if they happen, they happen. If they don't, they don't. Like you can always just set orders, get out. So that's kind of what I'll do. If this doesn't go to 280 right now, I'm still offering all over this, so hopefully it will come in to 280, and we'll be able to get some more out. All right, MLGO, man, that name has been popping all day, and there it goes again right now, MLGO. Wow, I mean, we just looked at that right now, 16 to 1675. Good on ya here as micro algo, 1617 still going, man.
That stock is silly. Oh, shoot.
Yeah?
Mullen is the easy. I forgot all about this on Mullen. If Mullen fails the high, short it under VWAP. Every single time. Right to the low of the day. There might not be enough time for that bad boy, but I should be short this stock. It's the easiest money out there whenever this fails a breakout to just reload it underneath VWAP. I might still have time. I did pay for locates. But GameStop, we were able to get one short into the low, did have it at the top, but we're going to get out here when it breaks that 25 level. Don't mind waiting for it to get back in at 26, but going to keep all stops tighter just for myself. I can get back in if it reclaims underneath 25 or if we fail VWAP, but I want to take those one-off shots every chance we get. Amazon still nothing yet. NVIDIA hasn't really gotten me back in. NVIDIA is still a working short where I have it, but I'm not feeling the shorts right now. I'm going to feel it a little bit more with AMD because AMD's under VWAP. So I'll keep staring down NVIDIA because we were trading it before, but AMD just seems like it's a better short. Lower highs, same bottom. Short this one at VWAP at 106.5. Let's go to the small cap recap with Adara.
Apparently the smallest of recaps for some reason.
All of these.
Here's the IWM making a remarkable recovery here. Much like the rest of the market, you have that push to the downside off the open. Then basically making back pretty much all of that in the next 15-minute candle. Right now, though, a little bit subdued on the third 15-minute candle of the day. ME on watch here, 23andMe, reaffirming their consumer data protections, and they also secured here $35 million in DIP financing from JMB Capital. So some financing secured here from ME, which has about an 11% short float as they navigate this Chapter 11 filing. We also have Encarta here. The ticker for this is going to be NKTX. This is going to be a day one earnings small cap mover with about a 19% short float, beating here on their EPS estimates for Q4. Last but not least, MLGO, one everyone's talking about. I also have a second small cap ticker for you guys to look at here as well. WIMI, Hologram Cloud, they're also moving here. So the catalyst for both of these tickers is WIMI Hologram Cloud has increased its stake in microalgo to about 67.65%. They've also committed to a 10-year lockup period for all of their currently owned shares. So keep an eye on WIMI and MLGO. For its part, MLGO has about a 40% short float. Back to you.
Yeah, so
MLGO was a 40% short.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, we've been looking at this all week. Like, it's been an absolute crazy trade this week, man. I mean, no matter what levels you're looking at, I think we can all acknowledge, like, what's been going on here with MLGO. I mean, it started at $3-4 there on Monday, Tuesday, and then had that big day, I guess, on Monday from 2 to 16, kind of where we are right now. And then as you guys can see, again, you know, kind of like preaching to the choir here, all the way up to 1850. And we just talked about it just before we went to that sector recap. And we were just like, it was $16. And then all of a sudden, Adara's talking to 1850. So yeah, like some definite momentum here. Look at
the other angle is the float's only 4.5 million to begin with. So you're talking about what, 2.5 million available shares?
Yep.
Like 2.5 million available shares on a $17 stock right now. You have any idea how easy that would be for someone to just have soaked this one up already? Yeah, no wonder it's continuing to rally, because it's probably entirely soaked up, and it's just gonna probably squeeze until that top. It's at 1970. Just remember, take profits. I mean, you've seen this dump before, but this is a little different. Like, that had a huge pullback and now wants to run the highs again. So respect to that MLG. I didn't realize the float was quite as small as it was. So if I'm going to be scalp trading, you had an obvious resistance spot on GME. It wicked me out. I'm jumping back in and then just giving it to the same prior high on GameStop. AMD, it's not really getting back into VWAP. There you go. Not really getting back into VWAP. It's holding around those lows. I don't want to punch a low break. So ideally, we're going to get even a small pop. Like, it's only 30, 40 cents away from VWAP. So a small pop gets you there on advanced micro devices. And Alan says, I would short MLGO if they had options. I think if they had options, that'd be a safer way to do it. Because I can tell you right now, like, there's small caps that you want to short, and there's ones that good luck trying to time a good short and executing it properly. You can short Mullen and execute it well. These ones, I shouldn't know. I'll just speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for other people. I have no way. I've never actually made those work. They look good if you can get the top, but a stock like Mullen, like this kind of penny stock where it has structure and does the normal things that you want. Like, look at the short on Mullen yesterday. You know, pop and lower highs and all that good stuff. And even the day before that, clear trend turn, then underneath VWAP. That's the kind of stuff that MLGO is not doing for you. It's just going to rip your face off, and you almost like you're guessing at the high. Mullen's going to break this low of the day.
Rip it off.
Forget about it. I'm just going to stick with GME. I should have shorted. I paid for it on the off chance it failed the high, and then it happened, and I lost on Tesla instead. We gave back yesterday on Tesla.
Yeah, it's been bad price action today for Tesla. I mean, it's been perfect. Like, all we had to do was literally follow our rules. But again, man, like, damn.
Well, I did the same thing. I shorted it before 280.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, all we have to do is follow the rules, man. And I think we would have followed the Yellow Brick Road right into a nice profit there. We follow the rules with Palantir, but this one we get back in. Like, I just should have re-shorted. But again, I want to go long through 280. So I'm not too mad about being long. It's too bad that it ran that 40 cents. But that's trading, right? I mean, when you put your stops at obvious levels, it's what's going to happen. So that's on me at 100p. But okay, there's Palantir right there. We got that fill. So let's go, man. We do have that. Okay. I say this, and we're going to turn green on Tesla. So there goes Tesla right now. Here we go, man. We said we wanted the long. There it is, man. It's $1.50 in the money. Let's go. See if we can get a little bit higher than where we are right now. We're at 279.37s right now. I don't know why. I put it there before. I'm not sure why. We'll wait to see if that fills. I guess just before 50 is what we're thinking there. So a nice move up. It just stops there at 279.25s again. So woe is me. We don't have that out. But we do have a good one there at 278.70s where it is right now. Oh, that's too bad. How high did that get? So now I look here and I say, okay, what was that high? You have to be kidding me, 34s? We're at 279.37s. So we miss it by 3 cents. So we'll just wait and see if that can happen again. 279.30s. We'll put an order on there for Tesla. So we'll see if that can come in right now, and then hopefully we'll be able to grab that, but that's okay. And again, it is what it is, you know, and it just sucks when you're playing with these shares and you miss a little bit of a fill there. It's like, because it can make the difference at the end of the day, but we'll be fine with it. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to get another piece out maybe right here in case we don't come back up. So there it is. We'll take it out at 279. But here we go, man. Now we're at 279. I'll just tell you what we're at. 279.30s, and we just got to fill there at 279.30. So right there, bang. Good fill on that one. So, you know, after all that, it comes right back. We adjust our price. Like, it just went to 30. That was the high there. So good little bit of an adjustment. And that's what I'm saying about watching stock. It's like, so many times we could sit here and it's like you gotta, that's why I'm just on Palantir and Tesla today. It's like just trying to watch out for the price action, wait to see little things like that. Because if I'm not on that stock, then I don't see that happen. It's not gonna matter, it doesn't look like at the end of the day. But look, it still didn't get to 279.40 there, so I wouldn't have got filled even again. So it is a good thing that we moved that order into 279.30 and able to get that fill. So there it goes, man. Again, pretty good day here so far, but it would be a lot better if Tesla actually made that move through those levels. I don't know if you saw. Go ahead, Palantir's been huge.
Well, Palantir just made. I'm glad I got out of that one because I mean you could have reversed it VWAP because I said over under at 90.80. I just didn't play the over side of it. I only played the underside of it, which I know I do. Sometimes you get fixated in one direction, which isn't a bad thing. I actually think most of the time it's actually a good thing to be focused on just like a couple of stocks in a certain direction so that you're focused on the setups for that. But Palantir got adjacent to the afternoon highs. Didn't quite get all the way into it, but you see a bit of a trend reversal here. I want to look for one shot to get in. See all these wicks that you're putting in? I've been watching it on the level too. Like it's getting up there, and there's sellers above 92, and then there's really not much of any of them underneath like 91.80 or so. So it's like it gets up there, and if the sellers come in, you want to try and grab it in there. I am still, of course, in GME, and again, just this one's right near that low of the day, so we're reloading it, and we're holding on to the short side of that trade. And Amazon just broke, Amazon just broke high of the day. So I missed it by a couple of cents on that bid, but Amazon now continuing to go. I don't want to chase anything because I'm only trading for another half an hour today.
Yeah, I'm only training for another half hour as well, and then we go to the gym, and then we'll come back at 2 o'clock. But there it goes, Mr. Roberts' neighborhood. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, Joe. Let's go, man. It is money-making opportunity day one more time here at Trader TV Live. There goes Tesla right there back up to the upside. So I told you, there's green, right? Like we said, man, we stay with the names. We talked about reversing it. There goes Tesla. Huge move, man. $4.30 over the wall, man. Climb over that wall, Tesla. Right now. So it's an absolutely monstrous day at the end of it all, man. Palantir, $250 in the money. Tesla, $450 in the money. And look, man, we're green on the name. We talked about that, right? We talked about giving some back. We both mentioned that. And then here we go, though. Tesla, nicely cooking now, $450 in the money. Stay where you are, man. Stay right here all the damn time. Neil, $5 now in the money as we spin it one more time there. So there we go. I hope we can say 6 or 7 when we come back from Madeira.
There's one story here with crypto-related implications that we're going to be watching today, and it is the confirmation hearing of Paul Atkins. He's been nominated by Donald Trump to lead the Security and Exchange Commission, or the SEC. So this is happening right now. We're actually getting comments here from Paul Atkins. He mentioned, apparently, I just saw this headline come in about a minute ago, that there's some crypto uncertainty, and that's caused by ambiguous rules. So we're going to have to wait and find out what happens. But he has been viewed as a crypto-friendly choice for the SEC. But it's worth noting, so was Gary Gensler, who was notably known for being very unfriendly to crypto during his tenure. So keep an eye on this hearing. If I see any market-moving headlines from that, I will certainly let you know. But here is Bitcoin, still actually in this uptrend from the lows here of March 10th, March 11th. But this is going on 3 days now to the downside. Pretty sustained range. We're continuing to make lower highs, but a bit of a flat bottom here around that $86,000 level. Let's see if that $86,000 bottom is able to hold, or if it does a bit of a flat bottom break. In terms of other crypto names to watch out for here, Bitcoin, relatively flat. Ethereum, relatively flat. XRP down about 2%. Solana about 1% to the downside. Doge and Cardano down about 2% and 1% respectively. So all light shades of red across the crypto space so far this morning, as the market itself here has actually gone from red to green. Back to you.
And shout out to our good friends from Trade the Pool. They are back with Trader TV. Trade the Pool is a game-changing platform that caps your risk while giving you the opportunity to trade real shares using company capital. That means no more risking your savings. Trade the Pool now offers an unlimited trading period for the evaluation phase. No pressure, no rushing. Take your time, perfect your strategy, and get funded on your terms. Remember, your losses are capped at a one-time evaluation fee and your profits are unlimited. head to tradethepool.com and start trading today. Scan the QR code you see right in front of you. Check the link in the description. And shout out to Trade the Pool. Appreciate them for sure. And all the opportunity is to the upside, at least overall. The market, Jinx, the market had just gone green. 2 seconds ago, the NASDAQ was green. It just ticked 0.04 to the downside there. Might get one more shot at Amazon if it can do one little pullback. Want to join this trend to the upside on Amazon, but it is Tesla, which is absolutely fine for the Katina Man in there. You always have to hit enter twice, I'm finding. I think it's because I have the stock link. I'm glad we got away from the short, but the story to me is should never short it away from the level that you want. Short at your level on your terms and only that. But now you're filling in the gap. I'm not chasing anything. I'm not shorting it again because I don't think there's enough time to make it work. The only play I'm going to look for next is going to be probably Amazon on the next available dip because it's got a little bit of room to be able to scalp it into that 204. And if we can pull back into 202, I think we can be good to go. GME, we've shorted it pretty much at the same level as before. It's holding a bit of a bear flag or whatever you want to call it. So it's still inside the range. Either it breaks it out here or we hold it back into the low. I think it's a pretty simple binary trade. I did cancel my orders on Mullen because I'm not going to get into that. When it's under view up, you got to hold that all day long on a penny stock for it to just gradually go down, and I don't have all day to hold on to Mullen. So the next play is going to be Amazon. It'll scalp dip, prior highs at 202. It's been making higher lows the entirety of the morning. So the next one we're going to try and take to the upside.
Yeah, thanks for that on Tesla there. Yeah, I mean, it does mean a lot. Like, we congratulate each other. We do these trades, even though we could be the opposite ways or whatever. It is what it is. Like, we're $3 now. Like, we're $9 in the money in total right now. We're $6 in on Tesla, and we're $3 in on Palantir. These are real trades, really happening. Neil's going to be on GME, which obviously doesn't getting the juice right now. But again, focus, look on your stocks. He's talking Amazon. We're talking different names here. But there, I mean, I want to show something here, and I know we do this all the time, and, you know, we're getting more and more followers, and Twitter's been absolutely, you know, fantastic, I think, for many of us out there right now. But, like, this just says right here, right, short 280, right? So we make money on the short. We eventually lose it when it goes up. We've talked about that here, right? If we break, then reverse long, right? So it's kind of like right there. And then there's Palantir 90 to 91 long. This is at 93 right now, and we have the long underneath 90. So, you know, it's working out. The other levels that we have here are the futures. So now that we finally, I heard Neil say we went green. So now that we've finally gone green, you know, the TQs could come into play soon. And then AMD with the short sell. I mean, right now, Neil, this is almost $7 now in the money, again, off of that idea. So it's like, this is, might as well take some out, right? I mean, it's going very, very haywire right now to the upside. There, I mean, there we go. So now we just talked about being $9 in the money. Now we're $9.50. And like, this is 20, 30 seconds. It's playing the momentum names, playing the hot names. You know, this is what's been printing out for me. So this is what we're doing. And we're just sitting here and doing that. Like, I mean, crypto is 86.6. It's actually getting to the downside right now. So as Tesla, right back, this is the level. I don't know, like, we talked about Tesla getting back to 286 and that there was a possibility. Like, I wasn't joking. This is why we're long right now. And there it goes again. Now $7 in the money on Tesla. And $3.50. We were just $9, Neil. Now we're $10.50. So this is what I'm talking about. You look at slower names, the GameStops. I was just looking at Robinhood in the world right now. Like, this is a good stock, but again, it's not going to have the juice. So you got to wait for certain levels to come in. It's like, you can really see the difference when you're looking at these levels and just how they're just, you know, volume. Like, this is what we're talking about when we're looking for these kind of names on a prop floor. We just did that read with Trade the Pool, and it's like, these are what you're looking for, right? Is names that are actually making moves. And I said this earlier to everybody earlier, is that Neo would be a trade there. You could take a couple thousand shares. And again, I don't know what people's account sizes look like, but 1,000 shares times $4 is $4,000. I hope we could take a couple of those. And then there's the move. We said that what happens often, priced in, right? I mean, it went down 7 or 8%. Nice move back to the high side. They don't have anything to worry about with tariffs. They don't even sell in the United States. So NIO right now making that move back up. But we did say watch out for $4. So it's at that level right now, $4. All right, like, honestly, There's only 20 minutes left. I think it's time to thank you, Chef Joe. Thank you, Adam, you know, and to all you traders out there that are following. I mean, like I'd mentioned and like Neil and I mention all the time, you can ask us, you know, what symbols we've traded, what we think about them, what symbols you're trading, what we think about your symbols, all that kind of stuff. But again, completely free resource, our watch list and the sticky note. And there it is, man. Neil, now we're $10. So we're just continuously going 3 and change on Palantir, 7 now on the monster that is Tesla. So we get good news today about EVs downstairs, and we get great trades with Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla going to that upside, just going right into that volume-weighted average price. We were talking about it's like when gap, close it to VWAP. So with only about 20 minutes to go, I'll get to Amazon in a quick little second, but as I said, we're doing one thing or one other thing. If it's not going to be the Amazon long, we got to grab it soon. If it doesn't do a dip, then I'm not catching that high. I'm not going to ball that high. So we're still getting the same range in there. It's a $25 stock. You're just going 1 point back and forth, and we're going to keep shorting the pops. I got half of it out toward the low. It's about 20 pennies for the first half, and then the second half, you're looking 30 to 40. And as I said, Amazon continues its churn off the highs. It's trying to pull back. The market's at the highs right now, and it's trying to pull back, so this might be the opportunity to jump back into it. But I don't want to be in long here because it's not my style to get long here and then hold it into VWAP. Like I want it to go down into VWAP so I can get that entry, give it my stop, and then go from there. Like that's going to be my style. So I'm not going to punch in at these highs, even if I think it has a good shot of going higher on AMZN. Crap stock. AMD triple top. You're right, AMD triple top. I think there's a little bit more strength in NVIDIA. That's the short that I got away from. So that's why I'd go for the long in NVIDIA before I'd go for AMD the more I look at it. We're up on NVIDIA only because we took profit at VWAP, thought maybe we'd get some kind of a flush on the chip names, but it just hasn't happened. So at this point, there could be a flat top break because I'm down to breakouts or clean dip buys at this particular point, but you're a little bit too close to that top for me to jump in. I'm going to stay away from NVIDIA at least for now. Keep that eyeball on Amazon because that was part of the plan. And Amazon's starting to come back in. So it's part of the plan, and it's coming back to the downside. So we're going to sit in front of 201.5. Probably going to be our last trade in there before the end of the day. I did have eyeballs on a couple of small cappers, but by now, if you haven't gotten a shot at them, I don't think it's that time to jump in. And short, Ari, if you're short Tesla, I'd watch out. I'm half considering whether I'll have a decision to make on the personal account if we see 300 on Tesla.
Short Tesla, that's a good one.
I'm talking about covering.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, we're $9 in the money here.
Sure
this is still going up. I think covering Tesla, I mean, this has just been such a huge move. Like, even if you are super bullish, shout out to Ms. V one more time.
It's up 30%.
Yeah, you've had just a huge move. So, yeah. I'm forever not selling anything. We sort of made that call, but I will tell you that JP Morgan would be a name that we are going to be selling, and this was one of the names that again is in the swing account. I'm probably never selling any Tesla. I mean, if it can get back to 450, we'll talk about it. But for right there, 250 and change, JP Morgan downside today. It's really just the Nasdaq that really. Well, actually, no, I take that back. ES also starting to go, so that's been a good move overall in this last couple minutes here for the market as a whole. And I think a lot of that good feels is coming from this name. So again, the last time it was thrown to me, it was $7 in the money, these two names, right? Right now we're 12. So it's just going higher and higher here. I have an offer at 286.70s for Tesla. That is the high of the day. And again, remember when we were down here, I was like, we could get back to 286. We even zoomed this out and was talking about this level from yesterday. So not only did we get back up there, we just absolutely destroyed that level. So now we'll wait to see how high we can fly from here. Just so everybody's aware of this, we have about 12 to 15% left on our Tesla trade. And I mean, it looks like we are planting red roses here, which we've done. And, you know, it's been quite a day for trades. But 282, I mean, that's a good little break low there. I'm thinking about stopping out of a little bit more if we break through 285. So we'll get out of about, I mean, my stop on this trade alone was that 276 break. So $1.50 worth of a stop, and it's in the money 9. So we already talked about where our stop was. Let's get some more out here at 285. If we break below that, we'll get out of, I mean, we could set our order up right now. 285. what was that level? Was it 285 exactly? 285.25. Let's go 284. We're so much in the money now, but I mean, don't necessarily want to trade there. Money. We just got 975 right there. 280. Now we can just, okay. Let's just get out of 25% then, if it comes back in. Wow. What a day. It's been, the month of March has been absolute fire. And it's not going to be like that for every trader. I hope it's like that for you guys. This is not like this every month. You have these moves. We know tariff talk is here, man. And, trade your book, trade what you're doing, as we always say. And, wow, good day today. Let's leave it at that. All right, we were sort of sad. Not sad. We made back our money yesterday at the end of the day, but what a difference a day makes, that is for sure. And today right there, man, Sharif, it's $10 now in the money the other way, my guy, the other way too. Thank you, I appreciate that. All right, let's go over to Adara now at the big screen with a segment.
Sector Watch.
So Sector Watch, if you looked at this tech side of the board, you wouldn't necessarily expect this push to the upside that we've seen in the market. I mean, Google, Oracle, CRM to the downside here in technology sector services, though Netflix nicely to the upside. Meanwhile, on the electronic technology side of things, Apple and Nvidia relatively flat. Broadcom continuing to sell off. This one's been really weak in the chip space. And AMD to the downside quite nicely here after a pretty scathing Jefferies downgrade. You can read all about that on our Trader TV Live watch list. Lots of strength here in retail trade. Amazon, Walmart, Costco, Home Depot, all really strong. Finance a little bit flatter. Health technology has some strength. Watch out here for AbbVie. They're supposed to be attending a conference here starting at 11:15 a.m., so keep an eye on that one. Consumer non-durables, pretty green. Consumer durables, a little bit mixed. Of course, tariffs watch here for this sector. GM and Ford, bit weaker here after Donald Trump announced those 25% auto tariffs, but TSLA, as mentioned earlier, nicely to the upside. Commercial services, communications, and process industries all green, so there is some strength to be found in this market, even if you can't tell by looking at tech. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. I'm going to have to switch. This is my Amazon chart right now. Amazon, ignore VWAP on this chart. I'm going to have to show you guys the black chart at some point, but I'm going to use a 15-minute just to show you. You have yet to have a red candle on that 15. With only 15 minutes to go, it either, like I said, it either dips now or it doesn't dip at all. We reloaded in GameStop off the same level, trying to keep it as simple as possible. I like to trade at one price if I can on the trade, so we're going to reload it for, it's like the 5th time down in here. It is giving you fills on that bid, but I'm trying not to average into this. We're just getting out, and then we're getting back in, and then we're keeping it a tight stop. And if we break down, we break down. But like I said, with only 15 minutes to go, do not want to get too frisky with that. Micro algo did halt to the upside for everybody that's still trading it. The tap is flat, like it's a 19.29 halt. Right now, you're seeing a theoretical auction price of $19.29. So it's a NASDAQ stock. You don't always get the update. I think it's New York where we actually see it. You are at yesterday's, or not yesterday's high. It would have been 2 days ago. So you're at Tuesday's high right now on micro algo. It has been a straight shot up. You guys can all observe what happened on it before. Personally, I'm not going to be shorting this stock. I didn't even pay for locates. It doesn't fit in that profile. But I feel like there's going to be some profit takers when this one opens up and challenges the $20 level. And it should be open in about 3 minutes or so, as it is now halted. So still sticking with the same thing here, because we're going to get one crack at it, I think one more trade. We're going to go talk about a very, very good and better charting platform, pretty much the best out there.
Platform right now.
Better than this.
Come on, Tesla, keep going, man. 287 right now. All right, scan that QR code there below. Trade smarter, not harder. Get your first month free on us at Trader TV Live. Nobody else offering anything even close to that one, so make sure you do go over there and offer immediately. Hit that QR code, get going, get that offer. 50 plus brokers, all of the markets, literally in the world. You can entitle yourself to trade whichever markets, especially nowadays with the tariff tariffs. I mean, why not get some European entitlements? Why not get going over there? If you're not having too much success in the U.S. markets, flip up your game, man. Get over somewhere else. Look somewhere else, right? I mean, that's the thing. That's what eSignal does provide you. 500 level 2 data. You can have over 500 symbols at once on your scanners, on anything. It is absolutely insane, Sharif, the power of the eSignal platform. So power up your life with eSignal and get that immediately. And I know one way that we can trade harder. That is just by sticking with your rules. And right there, Palantir now is only $4 in the money, but it is Tesla right there that goes dime piecing right now. You know what? We're not going to hit the club for $10, but it's $10. And there it goes. Look at Palantir. Okay, Sharif will do it. Thanks, Sharif. There it goes, though. This is also Palantir off the low. Neil, we've traded 2 names today. We'll go big time. We'll go 2 for 2 big time on those. And again, it is just your rules. So we can look it over. You post up something too. We can discuss anything. But there's Tesla, AMD, Palantir, and TQQs. Almost probably in the TQQ trade. Let's have a look at that. And I haven't even opened up an AMD level 2 because it's Tesla hot fire. That leads the day by far. And then it's Palantir, which is, I mean, we've sort of been talking a little bit about that. Left that a little alone just because it's just going. We were sort of holding it there to see where we could go. We don't have many shares left. So there it is, man. Yeah, thanks, Chef Joe. You know, we are now electrified downstairs in the next couple of days, I guess. So we'll be excited to show that to everybody.
Wow, that'll happen that fast. I mean, they just dug the hole today, so I was thinking like next week. It could be that fast.
Oh, it can be quick, my guy.
Yeah, anyways, if you weren't tuning into the morning or the beginning of the show, there was some drilling and some work that you might have heard, and that's because in the parking lot there is going to be an EV charger, a charging station, I should say. Charging station going to be put in there. As I said, I'm going to get...
That's right.
Yeah, well, for everyone, yeah, for us, basically for the company. Not that anybody around here drives an EV to the office, Sharif, but maybe someone will now. With only 10 minutes to go, I might take 1 scalp trade left. I'm eyeballing SMCI, which I paid for. We reloaded GameStop, which you guys have already seen ad nauseum here, and we're bidding out into the bottom. This will be the last shot at it. Like I said, if it cracks this prior bar high, I'm out. If it flushes down, I'm bidding. I'm not holding anything because I'm going to the game today, and I got to go pick up my daughter, so I'm not holding it. I'm just going to get out on the bid. But if we close this bar in SMCI, I'll take 1 shot short, give it to the prior bar high. Just want a simple setup. 1 shot short, give it to prior high, and look for a simple flush. That way, it's at least on target. But if it doesn't go right away, then it doesn't matter. Like, that's a very quick in and out scalp trade. Even though that's set up, sometimes you'd hold it for more. I don't think we're going to try and do that. We'll just try to get whatever we can out of that move. And where are my bids on GME? It didn't just get picked up. Let me just go over here for a second. I did not just get picked up. All right, so it's still holding underneath VWAP, but it hasn't flushed enough to get us picked up there. Oh, the other thing to keep in mind, I said Amazon. What is up with that chart? I said Amazon. I'm not going to be in it, and I'm not going to be buying any highs, but I still think target range. I think 04 is the obvious spot that we should be able to get to on AMZN. Great hold of the 200 period moving average for Amazon, and that double bottom at $200, giving you all the goods. Got a little bit of room before it gets to reversion territory at $204. I won't be here for it. But let's go to Adara for Money Talks.
Yeah.
Here's the US dollar here. Nice little bounce. This is the daily chart. I mean, today we're not bouncing, but we have bounced a little bit off of these recent lows. Today looking to give back pretty much all of yesterday's push to the upside. Opening here around 104.6, currently trading around 104.3. We did get a little bit of economic data this morning. GDP, the biggest number today, coming in higher than expected, 2.4% versus 2.3% expected. Market having a bit of a delayed reaction to that. We're going to get more executive orders from Donald Trump at 2 p.m. These usually are announced pretty last minute. I was not seeing this as of a couple hours ago. Now, Donald Trump set to sign some executive orders. Fed's Collins going to be speaking here at 4:30 alongside Fed's Barkin. And tomorrow morning, we do get the PCE price index here. There's going to be year over year, month over month, and the core numbers. From what I'm seeing here, we're expecting slight increase on a month over month basis, or sorry, on a year over year basis for core PCE, but everything else expected to be relatively flat. So we're going to take a look here at the Fed Watch tool. Let's see what we're expecting for rates going forward. May, we're still heavily favored to keep rates held the same, but June, now 57.9% of participants are expecting a 25 basis point cut. Another 8% of participants expecting a 50 basis point cut. About 34% of participants still expecting rates to hold steady, but looks like the tides have changed a little bit, and we could expect a cut, most likely of 25 basis points, coming through in June. And we are brought to you by ProfitX. Are you looking for unbeatable odds on the biggest games? Switch to ProfitX's peer-to-peer platform, where you set the price. No more one-size-fits-all lines. It's like crafting your own picking strategy with real-time trading tools. Secure the best odds, track the action, and watch your plays come alive. Experience total control at every step. ProfitX. Sports playing reimagined. Users can use code TraderTV to get our sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. Back to you.
Shoot, that's right. I wanted to check out that home run prop.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys, I want to thank William. I mean, congratulations, man. I mean,
well done, Chris.
Yeah, well done on that one there, William. You can't thank you all enough. Like, I don't know, put in here maybe what trade you had there, William. So, congrats, big guy, there for those kind of numbers, man. 11 grand. I mean, that's, you know. That's a great week, right there. After your wife passed away from cancer, so yeah, let's go, man. But don't risk too much, my guy. But good play on that one. And again, I hope you're in this Tesla play, and I hope you're watching the sticky note. And I hope you have, you know, a safe and prosperous future. That is for sure. But there we go. Thank you, William, for that. But I mean, Tesla, come on. Like, I just got another piece out there at 287. Now it's Neil. We're $12 right now in the money. So maybe I'll go to the Jays game as well here. I mean, this is, you know, like sitting around here trading. I mean, we love trading and we're not going to go anywhere. But at the end of the day, like, this has been an absolute banger of a day there for Tesla. So again, you know, not one shoe fits it all. Like, you had to have reversed it, right? And that was just something that we believed in. We did hold this name against us $1.50 on the reversal, but holding something $1.50 to get a $13, we have no idea where it's going, which is why we start to piece it out on the upside. But there it goes, man. It is, whoa, it is an absolute monster there. We have this new chair there. Good trade there for Tesla. And by new, it's like 40 years old. But I don't know. I don't really have a stop. We've canceled our stops now on Tesla because we've gotten out on the way up. So I don't know, man. I hope you guys can see, you know, the trades that we've got on board right now. Palantir and Tesla. I've only traded 2 names. I think you're only traded 4 or 5 today. So a little bit lighter today, but at the end of the day.
Well, I knew it was going to be way lighter today, for myself, anyways. You know, because like, if it didn't fit the opening plan, wasn't going to have too much wiggle room on it. I'm contemplating throwing an order on Tesla at my PA while I'm at the game out in front of 300, because I mean, what else is it going to do? If you look at the daily chart, it's breaking out the prior high right now, and then the last top was 298 on an open or closing basis, like 298.80 or something like that. So I think taking a little bit out there just to rinse. And again, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm probably going to throw an offer out there, like it's not a stink bid, it's like a stink offer. Just throw it out there at like 98, like 97 something, and see if it gets there this afternoon, because it's an absolute moonshot to the upside. But it's not like Tesla's going, the market's green, Nvidia is also going, not to ignore, but Nvidia just went green, so I took my shot. We like Nvidia short, just stuck to the plan the best we could, shorting under prior day close. It gave you one chance under these prior day levels, and that was it, because that's the only thing the short gave you. Palantir for me was, again, like you look at my note, it's going to be littered with shorts. It was an over-under at 90.80, took the 90.80 short. When it broke back out, I got out. The only thing that we're still in is going to be GME, but like I'll punch out, even if it's still underneath VWAP, I'm probably just going to, I can leave my stop at tight or punch it out, but I am on this bid. We'll give it a couple of seconds to resolve itself. It's trying to break VWAP. Looks like it could be a decent reversal long, but I'm not going to be taking it. And I do see Tom and a few people have mentioned Nike. Before we get out of here, we did say on Nike, at some point it's going to hold the low. And now, knock on wood, you just put in There is the low from earnings. It tested it yesterday. It's put in a higher low today. So this would be it. If you close holding this, the Nike rebound long, to me, is now in play to that low. So it needed to confirm it because we did test it again yesterday. But shout out to Nike, and shout out to you guys for noticing this. You always want to put that old 3-day rule, let it calm down for a bit. Nike's finally caught a bid. This is where I think you take a shot at that long. I'm talking about not a day trade buying these highs. I'm talking about like a swing into the low.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we talked about buying some Nike there, American company. We like that one for sure, especially after it's been getting absolutely clocked right there.
Well, yeah, it's actually, and remember, Lulu reports after the bell tonight. So that's a pretty big one. And probably going to be a sympathy play, at least a little bit. I mean, any decency out of Lulu can give a little bit of bounce to Nike as well. And even if it's bad, Nike's already been under the ringer. Like, how much worse can it get for Nike at this point?
Yeah, exactly. So
well, I mean, it can always get worse. But.
It could always, I mean, lots of stuff could happen. You know, we were $7, $8, now we're $17. It's just, it's not stopping. So we took another piece out there at $290.50. And there we go. Yeah, good job, City Boy. Who's here? What's up, Anonymous? You know, anybody that's trading today and you know, thank you for watching our show, man. You know, we're doing it all. You're going to have these two guys come through and start to trade some, you know, smaller cap names or whatever they're interested in. Of course, Joe will probably be on iBit. I mean, right now, 87.1, sorry, there for Bitcoin. Man, today was just like, honestly, like, what a day. Like, these are the days why I sit in this chair. To make these kind of plays today. And it's just so good when it works out. As Neil said, man, follow your notes. Like, obviously, if they're the wrong way, you're going to get clocked, right? And that's what we talked about with following the rules, following your outs, all of that, so you could be patient with it. Like, we had Tesla written long yesterday, right? I mean, that was disastrous. And we got hit early on Palantir yesterday the other way. So, and we just learned from our lesson. Like, I think that's the one thing that, you know, we can all do better is learning. And it's just like, even though I have 23 years or whatever experience doing this, it's like yesterday Palantir came in and we lost when I think it was Palantir yesterday came in, and yeah, it was right. We took out the top yesterday on the top break, therefore PLTR. Then it came through and we got hit there, and we were red pretty much for the whole day until we had those plays at the end of the day. So the thing is like today we actually waited and we're super, super patient and did do exactly that. And we followed exactly what we had written down on here. Wait for 90 to 91. Then when it broke, we stopped out for 20 cents. Then it bounced twice down there. The third time we took the long, and then it was just blow up. We also took another long right there, averaged into this trade upside. Now we just wait for that to break right there. So 92.70. All right, man. I mean, this right now, we're $15 in the money. We're going to go to the gym. Just let these orders ride, let them go. We have our stop orders in. This has been a big, huge day. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Enjoy the game, Neil, and we'll be back at this tomorrow, of course.
Oh, by the way, because our account is a shared account for that Profit X. Well, we're cheering for Anthony Santander to hit a home run and the Jays to win. So that's what we're down on, because I put some profit.
We're always cheering for the Jays to win.
Well, obviously, and I like the City Connect.
The hat on.
You know what? I might try to find my City Connect. You know what they have? We're going to give you guys in a quick second. There's one of the City Connect sweaters that the Jays have.
Yeah.
It's the Bill Belichick look. It's a hoodie, but with the cutoff. Like Bill Belichick.
Okay. Yeah,
which I think looks utterly ridiculous, but maybe I'll throw that one on today. It actually does look ridiculous. I mean, it's really not my flavor. I'll probably just wear like a regular hoodie. But yeah, let's go Jays. Let's go Tesla. Obviously, it's got a great chance. And Skull, no, Bill Belichick is not the GOAT. The best coach of all time is Mark Levy. Shout out to everyone in our chat, and big shout out to William Kress. Keep your head up, and congratulations, brother, for sure. Let's go to the midday. It is Sharif. It is Joe. Go get him.
Let's go.
I'm already punching in positions like a DJ. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade During the Midday. That right there, over there, is your boy Joey Dang Options, and I'm Sharif.